The girl is Liliana Blanchett and also the younger sister of the main female character, whose name is Juliana Blanchett. The lady then tells the girl to eat her carrots too, and she agrees. The main character realizes that when she opened her eyes, she became a younger sister, a name that was only mentioned in passing. But in any case, the reason she is irritated now is because of the main character. Juliana Blanchett had a reverse harem of 4 male friends, and she's referring to the 4 men who are the main characters in The Candidates. 5 years after their studies at Delir Academy, they still retain their pure love for Juliana in their own way. The first male protagonist is Rowan Cleone. He treated Juliana very well because he needed to compete for the girl. However, after they got married, the guy despised and neglected Juliana. And when all the misunderstandings were resolved, he again spoke false words about how he realized love, and at the same time, he began dating another woman. That's why the girl understands that this idiot can't be trusted, and he's still called the main character. She definitely won't allow this marriage. At that moment, people rise from their seats as they hear someone claiming that they haven't seen each other for a long time. The girl realizes that her sister is addressing the main male character named Rowan Cleone. At this time, the guy asks if this child is really her sister, and the girl answers that yes, after which she asks if Lily will say hello. The main character immediately greets the man, and the guy is shocked. The lady realizes he's 10 years older than her, so why should she call him big brother, and he has no conscience at all. However, the lady only claims with a smile on her face that she is 8 years old and that her name is Liliane Blanchett. Rowan claims he didn't know the lady had a younger sister and that she looks very much like her. Juliana says she told him about it several times, after which he apologizes. The main character understands that this is great, because even if it is not critical, he still fixed it. At this point, Juliana asks, "Whatever brought the guy there?" The young man replies that he actually came because he wanted to ask for a favor, after which he looks at the main character and the girl thinks, can't he say what a favor? Because she is there, and even though Lilian did not appear in the original, she will interfere. The girl also understands that she will sit and listen, but the guy claims that he speaks little in front of his younger sister. But Liliana at the same moment asks what he is talking about, and the main character understands that it is complete nonsense. The guy then claims that this is because of a problem with the inheritance of the title, and his father is a bit conservative, so he said that he will not give him the title until he gets engaged. So he wants the lady to become his bride for a while. She'll just have to live in his mansion, and if the girl agrees, he will fulfill any of her requests. Liliana understands that the original work began with a reference to Rowan's engagement proposal. But at that very moment, the girl crushes the cookies in her hands, and when her sister pays attention to her, then the little girl innocently asks what an engagement is. After which, she also begins to wonder why Juliana chose Rowan. The girl replies that this is when 2 people promise to be together for the rest of their lives, and the main character understands that this is possible. She chose the guy precisely because of her obsession with being first everywhere. The girl was the top student at Delir Academy, and Rowan was the first person she opened her soul to. But the main character understands that she is always her number one, after which she asks if her sister will really not live with her. Juliana tries to object, but at the same moment, the main characters do not claim that the uncle said anything about his mansion, and that means she won't be able to see her. Juliana doesn't even know what to say to that, and the main character, with tears in her eyes, wonders if her sister is leaving her and they won't be able to see each other for a long time. The girl immediately hugs Liliana and cries out that this is not true. Then she turns to Rowan. She claims she's very sorry, but she doesn't think she can help him, and besides, she has to take care of her little sister now. The guy insists it's true, but it won't last long. And the main character gets angry and understands that she will not allow him to take advantage of Juliana. Rowan also suggests hiring a nanny, but the main character replies that if it's not her sister, then she doesn't want one. After which Juliana says that it's fine and thanks the guy for visiting her, and also apologizes for the fact that she won't be able to help. At that very moment, the main character tells her sister that she seems to be sick because she is feeling dizzy, and the woman says that this is not good. She immediately runs out of the room and apologizes, but claims that they will leave first. The main character looks at the guy and sticks out her tongue and thinks that he shouldn't dare to deceive her sister because no matter how much he tries, she will stop everything. A little while later, the girl feels very exhausted and understands that no matter how you look at it, it's too much. The woman screamed to call all the doctors in the capital, and the girl thought that this was not possible. In the future, she will use illness as a last resort. Meanwhile, Juliana turns to Lily. He asks if she's bored playing with dolls. The girl realizes there's no such thing as a smartphone there, after which he says that he is a little bored and the woman asks what he should do then. To make it fun, and the main character understands that looking at her little sister is more interesting. She has emerald eyes like her mother, but she has silver ones, so the lady thinks why and is there a special reason for this. But she can't even find out about it because Lillian Blanchette wasn't written in the novella, so it turns out that she doesn't know anything about herself. However, no matter what kind of child Lillian was in The New Lion, now that child is her. Juliana lost her younger sister, after which the main character apologizes to her sister. The woman asks what happened, and the girl realizes she can't tell her about reincarnation. Even if she does, the girl might think she's lost her mind. So the lady decides that she will simply do the same as Lillian and claims that she did not eat all the carrots. The woman, with a smile on her face, pulls her little sister by the cheeks and says that she told her that she needs to eat everything, so let her not do that again. Lillian thinks her little sister is so strong. After which the girl invites Liliana to play hide-and-seek outside, because she likes to play it. Ever since she got sick, Tony has been asking to play them. The advertising heroine immediately agrees. A little while later, she is already creeping through the bushes and wondering what she is doing at this age. In the end, the lady hid after all. While sitting in the guest house, the girl heard someone approaching. But when she looks up, she sees not her sister, but someone else. It turns out to be one of the main characters. A man asks them if she's Juliana's younger sister. Lillian realizes she's one of 4 candidates for the male lead. The youngest and smartest Archduke, he was always number 2 at the De Lire Academy and helped Juliana, because he fell in love at first sight and he did so until Rowan took her for himself. This cunning and clever secondary protagonist is named Michael Evans. The girl realizes she needs to pretend Bhutan doesn't know him. After which the lady asks who this man is, and the guys answer that he heard a lot about Summer from his sister, and they are so similar. The girl understands that, however, she does not know what Lily was like because Michael did not say another word. Besides the fact that they look alike, the girl claims that her sister told her not to hold hands with strangers. The guy claims that she was raised correctly, but the lady will stain her beautiful clothes so she can take his hand and get up. Lillian replies that she is playing hide-and-seek with her sister, and the man tells her that the game is over because he found her. The girl starts to get angry and thinks why she should obey him. At the same moment, the guy takes out some kind of box, and he claims that before coming there, he bought several muffins, so he offers to eat together because he bought it for her. The main character wonders if this is really for her, but the guy has never shown kindness to anyone except Juliana. Now he bought something for her. A little while later, the girl's sister claims that there have been so many guests in recent days. Lillian realizes this is all because the story has officially begun. She's also eating cupcakes and thinking they're so delicious. She was even a little sad that no one in this mansion gave her any. Well, at that very moment, the lady's sister takes the treat from the girl's hands and also claims that one shouldn't eat too much. After all, it's bad for your body. The girl understands that she wasn't given treats for this very reason. Michael claims that since the girl is still at that age when children are actively growing, if she eats something tasty, she will grow up quickly, and the girl understands that he is saying good things. Juliana claims that Lily has poor health, so she needs to be more careful about what she eats. And then the guy asks if it's not worth eating well so that the children have a good appetite. The girl's older sister says that her only preferences are desserts, which is why she is worried. And the guy claims that this is definitely a problem, and the main character thinks that this idiot can't change his mind so easily. So let him just give more arguments. The blonde smiles at this point, and she says that sometimes Juliana also wants to buy desserts for Lily, and besides, she also loves them, especially the chocolate muffins. After which the guy hands one to the lady. Well, at the same moment, the main character grabs the treat. And she claims she likes chocolate muffins too. The girl chews furiously on a muffin. And he wonders if this guy really thought she'd sell her little sister for some muffins. She may look 8, but deep down she's 20. Juliana puts her little sister to bed and insists that she shouldn't eat too many sweets anyway. The girl realizes that when she was 8, she ate fast food for a week and didn't fall into an eternal sleep. Michael claims he heard Rowan visited them. The protagonist understands that's why he gave her the muffin. The girl replies that yes, and he came to ask her for a favor, but when the guy asks what kind of favor it is, the girl replies that he asked her to be his fiancée. While the blonde man tries to cope with his emotions, the lady realizes she wants to eat a muffin. But the girl understands that she must show willpower, because if she wants to eat a muffin, she must ask for it like an 8-year-old child. At the same moment, the lady turns to her sister and asks her to give her a muffin, but the girl replies that it is impossible, because that is enough for today. Lillian claims that she won't give her anything tomorrow either, but the girl replies that if it's not possible, then it's not possible. At this time, the blonde claims that he would like to discuss the topic of the meeting that they will be debating, and she knows about it better than he does. Juliana claims that if he talks about this, then the topic is definitely at the parliamentary level, but the girl asks if he can discuss this with her. The blonde replies that she will soon join it anyway, and the lady does not intend to stay in the mansion all the time. The girl looks at her little sister and replies that, of course not, and the main character understands that no matter how much she gives this priority attention, but this does not mean that her little sister will sit in one place all the time, because in the Empire she was the most talented person at the Delir Academy. The lady has always tried hard because of her obsession with first place, and the girl claims that she still needs to take care of Lily. The main character, looking at the guy, realizes that she is a little worried about his advances, but her little sister seems to want to participate in the meeting, and if Michael comes often, she will be able to eat desserts more often. The lady immediately turns to her little sister and thinks that she doesn't need to try to give up everything because of her, because she's very sorry. The girl also wondered if her sister would help this man. The blonde seemed a little hurt by the lady's call him man, and Lillian claims that help is good and she won't have to be away from it. The guy replies that it's true and the man will come himself. The girl understands that, as she thought, he quickly figured it out because this is a characteristic of his character. Then the lady says that this is good, and if the little sister helps the uncle, and how she helps her, then she will be all for it. The lady looks at her little sister and smiles, after which she hugs her and also claims that she is such a cutie. At this time, the main character looks at the man in front of her and thinks that this idiot should be kind to her. She agreed, not because she liked him, but because her sister wanted to work, and he could bring her desserts on top of that. And the guy then insisted that was a good thing. And when he walks, the main character thinks that this is a happy ending because she gets desserts, and Juliana gets work. Michael gets a reason to be near Juliana, but she won't allow anything to come out of this, so he shouldn't think that he's caught her on the hook with desserts. A few days later, on a quiet afternoon, the main character is missing desserts. She wandered around the mansion, avoiding her little sister. She knew she needed dessert, as the chocolate cupcake she'd recently eaten had been too much of an irritant. At that moment, the lady heard someone who doesn't address someone like that and claimed that people are very similar to her sister and cute, so she asked if she would like some cookies. But when the girl turned around, she was very scared because she saw a waving hand in front of her, who also said that the girl should definitely say that her brother gave her these cookies. The girl screams at that very moment and wonders if he has really gone completely crazy. The lady starts to run away. This man tells Lily not to be scared, because brother is not a bad person. The girl starts calling her sister, but the guy asks her not to sleep with her because he still hasn't made peace with her. He also claims he'd like to fully reveal himself, but Leah is so strict with boundaries, and in any case, he once again told her not to be scared and to take it. The girl, shocked and frightened, asks if he even knows who he is. But at that very moment, she realizes she said it too maturely. The guy insists that he's really a good person, and that they're cookies after all, and she likes them. So now they'll be friends. Lillian realizes she has someone in mind, if it's magic. This guy is at least a classmate of Juliana's. And besides, he resembles the character of one of the main characters. This guy was the unique idiot of Delir Academy, and his character was the direct opposite of Juliana. But he's surprisingly close to her, and his name is Alan Lowell. But the girl thinks he's an even bigger idiot than she is. At this time, the guy screams for Lily to wait, but the girl understands that he knocked it out regardless of whether she hears him or not. A little while later, someone else apologizes to Juliana without claiming that it was his fault for not keeping an eye on Lowell properly. The main character realizes the guy has an unusual build, a calm, soothing expression, and a gentle tone. There's nothing out of place about this character, and his name is Cedric Royston. Juliana asks Cedric if it was really he who brought Alan, and the main character understands that it was as she thought. The hand sticking out from the wall at that moment belonged to the guy sitting in front of her. He is her favorite in the novella, but not now, because it is only interesting to look at fools outside the text. However, if he had come out of the wall then, he would have immediately become a violator. But now this is not important. The girl thinks that this happened often in the past because Alan gets into trouble and Juliana gets angry with him and Cedric acts as a mediator between them. Lillian understands that it is surprising that her little sister communicated closely with him, but in any case, this guy is to blame for scaring her, but there is no cookie. So there is no choice but to eat them, but at the same moment, the lady's sister claims that she can only eat 5 cookies. At this time, Alan claims that Lily is even more attractive up close, but the woman asks how he knows the affectionate name Lillian. The guy replies that he often heard him on the way there and they talked a lot. The main character wonders how he remembered everything, but she realizes that when he put his hand through, he spoke to her as if he had already seen her. And she was right about him being a mage. Whether Lillian was a mage or not was unknown, because in the novel there was no mention of her interaction with Julian's magic. She possessed a high level of magic thanks to the special genetics of her family, and when she remembered this, she thought that her sister could set magical boundaries around the mansion. At this time, Alan claims that the lady's sister is so cute, but he doesn't think about the main game, so why is he looking at her when he came to Juliana? The guy at this time claims that in any case, he is there to apologize. Juliana asks what he's talking about, and the main character looks at her expression and wonders if her sister is really that angry. Then he thinks about what this guy could have done. Alan says at that time, he apologizes for not fulfilling her request to examine the sick Lily, and he disappeared without a word. The main character thinks this is true and that she liked Alan while reading the novella, that he had a different view of things, and it seems like in the original when Lillian was sick. Then, Juliana asked him for help, and the main character realizes that she did not know this, since it was not described in the novel. If Alan Lawwell had cured Lily back then, she might not have transferred into her body. At this time, the girl asks why he did this, and the guy replies that there was a small clash at the border, and he was urgently sent because they lacked a magician as a healing specialist, and the girl claims that he could send her a letter. The guy replies a little guiltily that he was so busy, but the main character thinks that it doesn't matter how busy he was. He needed to send a letter, and he definitely got it. The lady also looks at Cedric, and she understands that looking at him she likes his appearance, but she shouldn't tell her sister about this. She needs to find the one who will be best for her and make her sister happy. And she also needs to understand what Cedric is like because she can't remember anything about him from the book since she was paying all her attention to Alan. At this time, the guy says that this is why he will come and, as an apology, examine Lily and play with her. The girl understands that in any case, both of them are good at sticking skills. And he's come up with some pretty good excuses for coming there. But at the same time, Cedric also wants to say something. And the main character realizes that she remembered why she knows almost nothing about him. This is due to his timid nature and extreme caution. The guy at this point claims that it's good that the lady is okay. Cedric is a character who is rarely written about, despite being a candidate for the lead role. He was a very considerate character and very popular, but he wasn't her type. Well, when she sees him in person, he seems pretty good. First of all, that's why he was one of the candidates for the lead role. The point was that even though he had a shy character, he was the best knight in the Earhart Empire, and also the second knight to the Imperial family's generals. Juliana, meanwhile, says fine, and she'll accept Alan's apology in exchange for Lily's examination. The main character thinks her sister is making the wrong choice because isn't Cedric, sitting next to her, better than Alan? This guy is perfect for his beloved sister. Well then, the girl thinks that he is so indecisive, and then addresses him as a brother. The guy asks if she really called him brother, after which everyone looks at her in shock. And the lady tells him to come play with her next time, and thinks that she will give him a chance to show himself. Thus, Cedric Royston was able to visit them without any reason. Michael and Alan also visited them. One came for work and the other as an apology, and it looks like he doesn't have a job at all. Since the guy's hanging around there, Alan is hanging around Lily, and the girl realizes she'd already been examined 2 p.m. ago when he was there. And even state-funded free medical examinations are only given once a year. So he knows. At this time, the person says that he doesn't want to, and the guy claims that then the sister will scold her brother, and the main character says that he is an uncle. After which, he understands that he needs to run away, but the guy simply approaches her. After which, he stops Lily and says that dessert can only be eaten after the examination. The girl only gets angry in response to this, after which she wonders if she really has no way out. But at the same moment, the lady also notices Cedric and wonders if he really came there to do some knitting. The girl immediately approaches him and asks if he is busy, but the guy only looks at her gloomily. After which everything goes downhill and the girl realizes that it seems he literally thought that he was not busy with anything. At this time, the guy asks if Lily doesn't like the fact that he's coming. The girl replies that no, and she likes it, after which she thinks that he should always be balanced in their house. Besides, he is the best option that suits her sister, but whether to choose the girl or not should be his decision. At this time, the guy claims that he also likes Lily, and the main character understands that she cannot believe it. The fact that such a person changes dramatically when he uses the sword, but in any case from there she can observe Michael. Michael flirted like running water, carefully but naturally, and he did not cross any boundaries, while Juliana was completely focused on work matters. The girl understands that, as she thought, her sister is not so simple, and that is why Cedric and Alan do not interfere with her during work. While Alan turns to the lady and asks if she doesn't see him, the girl just pretends that he's not there and turns to Cedric asking what he's doing. The guy replies that it's called knitting and asks if Lily wants to try it too. The main character realizes that Cedric will definitely be the best husband for her little sister. After all, he's handsome and modest and such a cutie. Alan still turns to the lady, insisting that she needs to finish her examination with the man. But the girl is furiously thinking why this idiot is so enthusiastic, because she knows what he promised Juliana. But if she doesn't like it, then she doesn't like it, because it's a strange feeling when magic permeates the body during a medical examination. At this time, the guy claims that today will be the last time, and the girl replies that he will do it tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow he is going to do it again, after which the guy says that their Lily is so smart. The guy tries a few more methods, and the main character thinks that no matter what he says, she won't fall for it, and he thinks that she's just an 8-year-old child. Alan claims that if he conducts a medical examination this time, then next time he will bring a big cake, but he will not say a word to Juliana, and she will eat it all alone. The girl at that very moment suddenly changes her mind and screams that he must do it quickly, and also thinks that he should try to lie to her because then she will know what he tastes like. She will tell her sister such things about him that he will never come near her again. In any case, their love is in her hands, after which the guy asks the lady to be patient a little. A little while later, he tells her that they have finished, and that they have tried hard, so she can eat some candy. The main character insists that he must buy a big cake, to which he agrees. Then he begins braiding the lady's hair. The girl yawns, but a little while later, she hears something knocking. And at the same moment, he perks up and looks at his sister along with Michael. The guy claims that then they can finish their meeting today right now. The girl and 2 boys jump up. The main character immediately runs to her little sister. The girl, picking her up, asks if Lily was bored while she was working. The main character replies that no, because Cedric is very good at knitting. Juliana asks if this is true, after which she looks at the guy, but he only unconsciously shudders. After which he blushes completely, and the girl claims that it seems that Lily really likes Cedric. The girl thinks that her sister is doing everything we can, it's obvious, and yet for the main female characters in a reverse harem, this is the default setting. After all, resourcefulness is completely absent in matters concerning love, and they have a long way to go. At this time, Alan asks what about the uncle, because he bought her cookies every time and carried out a medical examination to make sure she was healthy. But the girl just turns away and at the same moment notices someone else. It turns out to be Michael, and the main character, frightened, thinks that he shouldn't smile so terribly, because it seems to her that he has found out that in this body, there is the soul of a 20-year-old. At this time, the blonde insists that if he wants to look good for Lily, he needs to learn to knit. At this point, Lillian sighs and realizes that he didn't doubt her and that she needs to be careful with this guy. A few days later, someone else greets Lily, and the guy asks if she doesn't like it when the guy comes. The girl looks at Michael a little coldly and claims that she and her sister wanted to eat. The lady also wonders why this idiot always comes and ruins lunchtime. A little while ago, someone spoke to Lily and said that it was time to wake up. The main character realizes that this is her little sister and then wishes her good morning. The girl realizes her little sister's beauty is growing brighter every day. She then gets up and asks if the men will be coming today. The woman replies that she thinks Alan will come later in the evening to check on her health, and the girl replies that she doesn't want to. Well, and then he realizes that the guy did say that he would buy a cake the next time he came, and that was today. So she will finally be able to eat the big cake that they will bring? At this time, the sister asks the lady what hairstyle to do today, because you can stop at ponytails. But she did them yesterday, so it's hard to decide, and maybe she should do high braids. Lillian immediately replies that she doesn't want braids, and realizes the back of her head hurts because of them. Then Juliana says they can do a half ponytail today. The girl gets to work. Here, the main character, looking at her little sister, thinks why she is so serious when she braids her hair. Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because if her sister likes it, she likes it too. That way, there will be fewer awkward moments between them. And that's what their quiet morning was like. But a little while later, Michael showed up and asked if the girl would like to have lunch with the uncle since he hadn't had time to have lunch because he was in a hurry to come. The girl thinks what kind of idiot this is, and that her calm, peaceful lunch with her sister will become like an arena where they fight for power. At this time, the guy looks at her pitifully, and the main character thinks that whatever happens, starving him is a bit too much, after which the girl starts wondering how he knows that Koreans are weak when it comes to food. The girl also says that if he sits far away, they can go. The lady understands that, of course, she will agree, because her heart is too kind. At this time, the blonde claims that it looks like Lily doesn't really like him yet, and he suggests the girl call her brother, just like Royston. He also asks the girl about the tasty treats or desserts he brings. The main character realizes that they are incredibly tasty, and then the guy asks what Lily doesn't like about it. The girl understands that this means that she doesn't like him enough to trust him with her little sister. At this time, the guy asks her not to hate him too much, and the girl understands that it seems he meant that they will see each other again in the future. The lady understands that this is some kind of absurdity, and a little while later she is already lying next to her little sister. The girl realizes that she went through a dinner that looked like a war, but this idiot was also going to buy dessert. At this time, Juliana says that she hopes Lily's pickiness in food will not get worse. At the same moment, the butler turns to Lady Juliana and states that a guest has arrived. The girl says that if it is Michael, then there is an emergency, and that means it is someone else. When the two ladies come closer, they see Cedric there. The guy immediately has a smile on his face. He turns to Juliana and the woman asks who's next to him. Cedric replies that he brought Joshua, so that he could play with Lily today, after which he tells the guy to say hello to Lily. But when the boy approaches the lady, he claims that he doesn't play with ugly girls. The main character wonders if he really decided to show off, after which she realizes that she will show him the power of influence in this world. The girl immediately turns to her little sister and says that she doesn't like this guy, and she doesn't like the brother who brought him either. Cedric is shocked by this, and then turns to his nephew and asks what happened. But Joshua, meanwhile, is wondering if the lady even knows who she likes. The girl realizes this guy is nothing but trouble. And of course, this is not something an 8-year-old child can know. But calling her ugly is unforgivable. After the transmigration of the soul, when the lady looked in the mirror, she realized that she was such a cutie that you couldn't take your eyes off her. The lady immediately asks why he said that she is ugly, and the guy replies that ugly means ugly, and does she really think that she is beautiful? At this point, Cedric is beside himself and insists that Joshua shouldn't talk like that. After which, he turns to Juliana and claims that he apologizes for his nephew, because Winston and his wife entrusted the child to him for a while, but he cannot leave him alone on the estate or take him to the imperial palace, so he took him with him. The girl replies that she is fine, but then looks at her little sister. And the main character, with a smile on her face, answers her sister that she is also okay. Then she points to the boy and claims the child is ugly. The girl also claims she went inside. After all, she wants to eat the dessert Michael bought. Meanwhile, someone else addresses Lily, and he offers to go holding hands, but the girl without hesitation answers that she doesn't want to, and wonders if he's really going to take advantage of the situation to get closer to her like an opportunist. Well, when the girl turns around and looks at Cedric, she realizes that he looks so upset. He's about to cry, and then the girl tells her brother to come over too. The ladies understand that this time she'll help thanks to his character in knitting. Well, she still thinks Cedric is so easygoing. However, the lady wonders why his nephew has such a personality. A little while later, the main character realizes that no matter how hard it is, this is too much. At this time, the little sister turns to the lady and says that today she will eat only 2. The main character understands that there used to be 5 pieces, but the girl replies that if you can't, you can't. Lillian thinks that her cuteness doesn't work. Well, what can you do? And it's good that Alan will bring her a big cake in the evening. The girl also thinks that she just needs to hold out until the evening, and at this time her sister hands Joshua dessert and tells him to eat too. The main character immediately looks angrily at the guy and wonders why he is eating tarts that she is not allowed to eat, even though Michael bought these tasty treats for her. At this time, the young man looks at the tart in his hands and is silent for a while. and then with a smirk on his face, he thanks the lady. The main character wonders if this brat just smiled. And does he really think that by receiving the tart he won and that's why he smirked? At this time, Juliana tells Lily that she has her tart, so there is no need to look at her friend so angrily. The main character almost cries and tells her sister that these are her tarts, but the girl replies that in any case, today the lady can only eat 2, and just as Lily loves tarts, so does Joshua. Her Lily is kind, so she understands how her friend feels. The main character smiles for a moment and realizes that it's so wonderful that her sister is trying to teach her to endure adversity and that she is a natural-born teacher. But everything is completely wrong. I'm a girl. I'm thinking, doesn't my sister understand that he's not eating the tart with a pure heart, but just wants to tease her because she saw everything? At this time, Juliana addresses the lady by her full name, and the girl, shocked, understands that this is not her cute nickname but her name, and her little sister is unwavering when it comes to desserts. Well, the girl thinks how can her little sister treat her like this? Because it's a betrayal, and the girl claims that she hates her little sister. She also understands that she will no longer talk to the girl until she says that she can eat 3 tarts. Lillian understands that it doesn't matter how ashamed she looks from this, but she's only 8 years old, and if this little thing hadn't happened, everything would have been fine. The girl also thinks what she should do because she doesn't think that Cedric can do anything for her, and Juliana also won't fulfill her whims. There's only one option left, and that's Michael. Even though it's the opposite, she'll create her own with him for a short time. After which the lady asks if he bought these cakes for her and calls the guy brother. After which, everyone else looks at her in surprise. And the main character at this time directs her gaze to Joshua and understands that this is a small mistake because he tried to play unfairly on foreign soil. At this time, Michael replies that yes, and he bought it for Lily, and the girl understands that this is excellent because she thinks that he already understood her plan, but she still doesn't like this idiot. The lady also asks if she can then consider all the tarts hers, and Michael replies that, of course. The girl, looking at him, understands that this is excellent because these are the words she wanted to hear, and gives the guy 10 points. Then the lady turns to Joshua and says that if this is so, does he want to eat it? The guy looks greedily at all these desserts, and the lady says that if he wants, he can say that she is beautiful. The guy immediately blushes and screams that she is ugly, and the lady understands that he really hurt her pride. After all, he said again that she was ugly, and he laughed at saying that about her face. After which the girl moves the desserts towards herself and says that then he will not eat anymore. Juliana immediately turns to Lillian and asks what she is doing, but Michael tells Leah not to worry. After all, adults shouldn't interfere with children's games. Meanwhile, the main character takes one of the desserts and eats it. The lady also understands how wonderful it is to eat everything alone and looking at her partner. She says that he is a liar, because she is really beautiful. But at that very moment, the young man tries to scream something else. The lady says that if he tells the truth, she will give him all the tarts. If he doesn't want to eat dessert, she will eat everything herself. The girl understands that it seems that at home he also cannot eat desserts as much as he wants. And what will outweigh these 5 cakes or his little pride? After which the young man gets up and understands that he needs to be patient a little. And then he goes on to say that the lady is beautiful. The main character immediately smiles and asks if she's cute. Well, the guy replies that they didn't agree on this, after which the lady says that the tarts are hers. And he understands that he is just a child, so he doesn't have to try because he won't succeed. After which the young man says that she is cute, and the girl understands that this is great. After all, this is all the price of his pride, and Lily keeps her promises. The lady's sister only sighs at this point. And Michael says that Lily is somewhat similar to him, after which Cedric just nods. At this point, the lady just looks away and understands that no matter how much she doesn't like it, he won't get it from Julian, because their union is dissolved from that moment on. A little while later, the main character thinks that this is quite funny because now she understands why the uncles always tease the children. It's so refreshing, and teasing is cool. A little while later, the lady says she's Lillian, and to make him feel more comfortable, he could call her Lily, and since she introduced herself, he should too. But the young man immediately asks why he should, and besides, she knows his name. The lady claims that later she was going to eat a big cake, and it was really delicious. The blonde then shyly introduces himself to the lady with a smile on his face and realizes that this taste of teasing the child is definitely better, and it's even more fun because it's Joshua. At this moment, someone else greets Lily, and she realizes it's Alan. Everyone else also turns their attention to the guy. He asks if the girl chewed well, after which she thinks that he is so loud and whether their house is really a gathering place for people. And besides, the lady looks at Alan asking about the guy whether he has forgotten what he promised her. The guy at the same moment whispers to her that he promised that he would bring a cake, but now he hid it with the help of magic so that Juliana would not take it and the girl could eat. The main character smiles at the same moment and thinks that this is great because he also fulfills his promises. At this time, Alan looks at Joshua and wonders who this child is, because he looks like Cedric. Cedric replies that it is his nephew, but Alan asks why the guy brought him there, after which Cedric tells the guy to wait because he smells something and Alan looks away. After which, he approaches everyone and tells Joshua to go, and also turns to Lily, declaring that he'll try to finish everything as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, the blonde wonders what he's planning to do. And the main character understands that this boy is really a child, because when they tell him to run, he doesn't run. And when they tell him not to touch, he touches. Just like now, Alan said to move away, but the young man took a step closer and the girl sighed. After which he tells Joshua to listen carefully because it is very painful and scary. It's really painful, and standing so close, he'll be very scared. The young man starts shaking after that. And Alan picks up the lady's idea and also looks at the guy with a stone face, after which the lady completely frightens him and screams at him to run away quickly. The guy screams at the same moment, and he runs to his uncle. But the main character just starts laughing at him and screaming that Joshua is a fool. The girl understands that this is really a lot of fun, and Alan says that Lily has quite a character too. At this time, Juliana is watching her little sister with concern and says that her Lily is very happy. At this time, the main character looks at Joshua, who is resentfully clinging to Cedric, and he wonders if she's played too much of a joke on him. The lady also looks at her little sister and asks her not to worry too much. After all, her communication skills are the best in the world, and now she's just joking around, and besides, a little later she'll treat the guy to a big piece of cake. A little while later, her sister already tells the girl to say hello, because from this day on, all these young men will be her friends. The main character is shocked and wonders if this is really an operation to find friends for her. But she only needs a sister, and the girl claims that she doesn't need friends, but Juliana says that if she makes friends with them, she will be able to eat twice as many desserts, after which the lady claims that in fact she loves making friends. Lillian wonders if her sister is really that worried about her socialization, but thinking about the double amount of desserts, the lady understands that now she will only be able to tease the kids when Juliana is not around. The girl also thinks where they all came from, after which everyone thinks why there are no girls there. A little while ago, the main character turned to her little sister and asked why this was so, and the girl answered that the brothers brought their nephews and younger brother because they did not have any nieces or sisters. But her Lily can still get along with friends, and the woman asks if this is true. The main character understands that it's a bit of a shame that her sister says this with such a smile, but nothing can be done. And it turns out these children were brought in as candidates for the lead male role in the original. After which, the girl thinks that this is great, and she will prove to her sister that she has perfect communication skills without them. After which, the lady waves to the boys and says her name is Lily. One of the boys also greets her, and he claims his name is Aiden Evans. The protagonist realizes he is Michael's nephew, but in character, this guy is like a copy of Cedric and she already wants to tease him. Another young man claims that his name is Luke Lowell and that Alan Lowell is his older brother. He also says that the lady is very sweet and the main character understands that this is a child. Just like a little copy of Alan, if you told her that this was his son, she would believe it. At this time, Juliana says that this is great and let them play together, but the girl understands that this cannot be allowed. After all, she needs to keep an eye on the men who are looking at her, so let her sister think again. And he also doesn't leave her alone, but at that very moment, Cedric comes up to her from behind, and he tells her to play with him. The girl is shocked and wonders why he stayed there. And isn't she really going to compete? A little while later, she asks if her brother has a job. However, when she sees his disappointed face, she replies that it's not so, and asks if her brother doesn't need to be close to his sister. The guy replies that he doesn't want to disturb Juliana, and that he likes playing with Lily. Juliana immediately approaches Cedric and thanks him, because she was worried that the children would be left alone while she worked. The main character, looking at the guy, understands that he is too shy and thinks this is his answer. Lady also doesn't think that Cedric planned this, but at least Michael is no longer seducing Ani while they work together, and that's good. And now the lady turns to the other guys and thinks how she can tease them. A few days later, the blonde boy complains that Lily is teasing him again. Juliana turns to the girl and says that she should get along with Joshua, and the main character understands that she really did nothing and is now holding back greatly because this is a false accusation. The girl also asks if her sister doesn't believe her and understands that what she was joking about is true. Well, she didn't know Joshua would immediately run to complain. The woman turns to her sweet Lily, and she claims that her sister hopes that her Lily gets along well with friends, or women are wondering if she really asked her for something difficult, to which the girl replies that she did not. And Juliana insists that it's time for her to go and that her little sister will be able to have a good time. The girl realizes that, as she thought, she'll be able to play well. Then she turns back to Joshua. But the guy at that very moment flinches, and the lady realizes that she didn't intend to hit him, but was just joking. But as Juliana said, she should be kinder, so the girl asks the guy if he doesn't like what she does. The main character, looking at the young man, understands that it seems he cannot say no because of his pride. And then the lady claims that she will not do this anymore, but looking at the guy, she wonders why he has become even more gloomy. At this time, the young man asks if she is really 8 years old, and the girl answers that she is. After which the guy asks why she doesn't call him Big Brother. The girl wonders if he's really a young old man. The lady also understands that in the West, people address each other by their first names without using such nicknames. And of course, she uses Big Brother when referring to Cedric and Michael. She wonders if there's been a deviation in the novella. One of the boys asks if this is really that important to him, after which the girl claims that Luca and Aiden are her age, and should they then call him Big Brother? The guy nods in response to this, and the lady says that it's good, and from now on she will call him Big Brother. But then the girl asks when his birthday is, and the other guy replies that he knows, but it's in April. The main character thanks him and then realizes that she needs to calculate if the guy's birthday is in April and it's now May, and Juliana said that her birthday was in July. Then the girl says that she just needs to call him Appa for 2 months. After which, the lady starts laughing loudly and asks if he is really 2 months older than her and is a 2-month older brother. Then the lady falls to the floor laughing, wanting to have all the power she can. Meanwhile, the brunette says that Lily is on the right, suggesting she stop laughing so hard. Joshua, at that moment, screams out that the girl should not call him Big Brother, but the main characters do not say that he himself asked for this. The lady still can't calm down, after which one of the guys asks her to calm down a little because it seems like Joshua is about to cry. After which, the guy starts crying and screaming. The main character, shocked, asks him to wait. After all, if the boy cries that loudly, the adults will come running. At that very moment, the main character's sister arrives. She immediately asks what happened, and the girl realizes that everything is wrong, and that she wasn't teasing the guy because she really wanted to. But then the lady thinks that nothing will come of it, and since that's how it turned out, she can't fix anything now. If the guy says again that it is her fault, then she will not see desserts. But then sad thoughts and memories of how the professor gave her the worst grade come to her mind. And because of this, starting from the first year of study, she already lost all hopes for a scholarship for 4 years. After which, the main character realizes that she will go into a dirty fight and also begins to cry. People understand that she did everything she could, and Cedric told her sister that it was Joshua's fault, so everything is okay. But the woman simply turned to her sister and insisted that she forbade her from eating desserts from now on. The girl realizes her reason for living has vanished. Although Lily's father, Count Blanchett, was a knight, he was always drawn to knowledge, or so they say. That's why the mansion's offices were large and cluttered. The couple had gone on an expedition and abandoned the house, so there was no one to come and clean it. In general, this room is the perfect place for Togo to hide, and the main characters do not understand that she is acting childishly and knows it, but if she does not do this, Tony will be able to let off steam. The girl understands that she feels a little guilty, but she will stay there until the evening, after which the lady hears someone entering the room. The main character wonders who it is and whether Juliana really found her so quickly, or whether she is not looking. The girl hadn't even called her by name once. At that very moment, one of the guys approached the lady, and he asks if it's Lily. The girl asks if it's Aiden, after which the guy replies that everyone is looking for her. He also says that he needs to go quickly and call the others. But at that very moment, the lady pulls him by the clothes. This makes the guy fall, and the lady wonders if she really pulled him too hard, because she doesn't think that's the case. The girl immediately shows him to be quieter, and the guy claims that he thinks her voice will be louder. At this time, the main character looks down, and the guy wonders if she is hiding. The girl looks at Aiden and then tells him not to tell anyone, otherwise she will take away all his desserts and eat them. To which he agrees, and the lady asks what he is doing there, since she didn't know that he would come today. The young man claims his uncle said it would be nice if he helped console her, since desserts are forbidden. But since the lady disappeared today, he decided to read a book. Lily understands that he heard that she disappeared, but he only thinks about books, and he was so similar to Cedric. But after all, he is a guy from Michael's cowardly family. However, the young man, with a smile on his face, claims he's glad he found her. The main characters also notice the book in his hands. The title of this book is Political Science and the Political System, after which the girl asks if he really reads and understands such things. Lily wonders if he's her age, after which she claims that the guy really is a genius. He's only 8 years old and he's reading about politics, and that looks like the culture of upbringing in the Evans family. The boy then replies that no, and everyone is just like him. People realize that this is a genius boy named Aiden who loves books and is completely different from Michael. The girl asks if he will read a book there and if she should leave. But at that moment, the boy grabs her hand and replies that if he doesn't answer, she can stay. Lily is shocked and wonders if he really likes her and if it is possible to believe that one love and the child is his childhood friend. And besides, she has such a face that one can't help but like it, and she also likes her face and Juliana's face. But this time, even the face that could save the country would never be able to melt the ice in her soul. Aiden, meanwhile, wonders what Lily is talking about. She has a strange expression on her face. He also asks if she wants to eat dessert and whether he should bring it to her. The girl asks if he can really bring it, and the guy replies that if he tells his uncle that he wants to eat, he will give him dessert. After which, the guy claims that he will return soon, and the lady asks him to wait and understands that because of this, Michael will definitely understand that Aiden is bringing him to her and will immediately tell her sister about it. The lady also claims that when he comes out of there will be a room with food on the right, but she saw how sister hides, desserts there. The girl asks if he will bring them from there, but for Uncle Michael, this must be a secret. The young man replies that it is good, and he will return soon, but the lady tells him to wait. After which, he kisses the guy on the cheek and tells him to get there without incident. The lady understands that this is a sign of gratitude, and Aiden immediately blushes. The main character smiles and understands that children's first love is truly sweet. A little while later, the girl is already stretching and realizes that she has eaten well. She also leans towards Aiden and, leaning on him, states that she wants to sleep. He also asks if she can sleep on his lap because he can put a book on her face. The guy asks if she really wants to sleep, since in that case it would be better for her to lie down on the bed, but the lady replies that she is hiding. After which, she begins to close her eyes, and seeing the boy's face, she thinks whether he really likes it that much. But let him drink some milk and come back when he grows up in 10 years, because by then she will have thought about it at least once. A little while later, someone approaches Lily and asks her to come to her senses. The girl realizes that this is a very familiar voice, and that she has most likely been caught. Lily wonders why she did this if she can't take responsibility and can continue to pretend to be asleep. At this time, the lady's sister turns to her and suggests that she get up because she knows that the girl is not sleeping. At the same moment, the main character slowly gets up and smiles, but her sister screams. Does the girl even realize it? The main character understands that this is a big problem because her sister is very angry. Well, the woman hugs the girl and continues asking if she can imagine how worried her sister was. After which, she starts to cry and the main character is shocked and wonders what to do. And what would be the best choice? She didn't know her sister would be so worried, and one could say she knew, but she acted like an idiot and a real child. At this time, the woman wonders if the girl did this because she forbade her from eating desserts, and asks if she even knows how long she had been looking for her. The main character changes and claims that next time she will not tease Joshua, and will eat well. She also apologizes and asks her not to cry. The girl understands that the two sisters are very dear to each other. Well, she still thinks whether she can accept all this if she is not her real sister. It doesn't seem like she's making a big mistake, but the lady doesn't know how to return. If she did, she would leave this body right now because she deeply regrets not being able to do so she claims it will be better from now on. Juliana claims that Lily did the wrong thing today because she, Michael, and the rest of the people in the house were looking for her. Of course, they themselves are to blame for not inspecting the rooms more thoroughly, but even if the older sister upset her with something, so let her not disappear so suddenly again, and the girl asks if she agrees. Well, the main character realizes that her younger sister has already disappeared, because once she appeared in the book, she, besides ruining her life, he also ruins the lives of others. The girl also wonders why this wasn't described in the novels she read. But the girl understands that she cannot return. And even if there is a way, she does not know whether she will be okay. So she will do everything possible to make her older sister happy. The girl realizes she's been making fun of the 3 children and has somewhat forgotten what she originally intended to do: protect Juliana from the author's selfish texts. And she has a better chance of doing this now because she has done a lot of damage, so it is time to take control of this particularly selfish fool. A little while later, the blonde boy asks Lily if she wants to play with her peers, but she replies that she'll be with her sister and understands she'll be watching him. But the blonde boy replies that she wouldn't be interested in listening to their conversations. Well, then her little sister says that if the girl wants, she can stay, and the lady replies that yes, she wants to be close to her little sister. At this time, the girl strokes the baby and tells her to sit quietly in exchange for agreeing to something. The main character understands that she stayed and this is a success, and now she needs to move on to the next plan. She will demonstrate her drawing skills and draw the most beautiful Juliana in the world, and also a pretty self. For a long time they lived happily in the large Blanchette mansion, and Michael was not there, and Alan was not there either. The girl also thinks about Cedric and thinks that she doesn't know about him, so she'll just draw visual needles and threads. And also add your favorite dessert there, and a little while later, the lady understands that the painting, drawn by the 8-year-old's hand, is complete. A short time later, the lady shows this painting to her sister, and she realizes that this is the painting Picasso would weep for, and it's perfect. Juliana wonders if the girl really painted this. She also says that the lady drew it so beautifully and invites Michael to take a look. The protagonist understands that she didn't mean to disturb them, but she really appreciates the praise. Juliana says that the lady also drew knitting needles and Lily likes Cedric. At this time, the blonde notices that the parents are not there, and the main character understands that this idiot changed the topic as soon as Cedric was mentioned. The girl replies that she was drawing herself and her sister, and Juliana is a little downcast and claims that her parents are so busy that they don't visit the mansion. Michael claims she did say they went on an expedition, to which the lady replies that she did send them a letter saying Lily had finally woken up, but there was no reply. Lilac Hale says that if she is worried, then maybe he should send someone, and the girl asks if this is possible. Meanwhile, the guy turns to Lily and asks if she misses her mom and dad. The main character thinks this impudent fellow is cleverly fooling people and isn't even a smart strategist. Well, she's not that simple, so the lady claims that she's bored, but she's having fun with her sister Leah and brother Cedric, so everything's fine. The guy twitches a little at this point, and the main character realizes that he didn't think Cedric's name would come up again. But he didn't play with her, so there's nothing to say about him. The girl tells her sister that last time her brother Cedric gave her a ride on his shoulders, and the girl asks if that's true. Lily adds that the time before last they were playing hide and seek, and when Joshua and Luca were playing with a ball, it flew away and got stuck in a tree. Cedric climbed the tree and retrieved the ball. Her sister replies that the guy is trying hard, and Michael answers that this is true, after which he asks if Lily will play with her uncle today. The girl replies that it's good, and thinks that he's been caught. But if he wants to be close to Juliana, then he will first have to defeat her, and the next day Alan also comes to the estate. He asks if Mikhail is home today. Then the lady sees a bag in the guy's hands. Then she even approaches him and, sniffing him, wonders what dessert it is today. Luca claims that Lily looks like a dog. At this time, Juliana comes into the room and claims that it seems Michael was overtired yesterday when he was Lily's horse. Alan, shocked, asks what she's talking about, after which he smiles and asserts that he is also waiting for victory. Both at the academy and now, Sister Lady claims she thinks it's just her personality. Alan asks if she remembers what Evans did to her since he tripped and fell. The main character looks into the package and realizes that these are puddings, and the lady thinks that this is a good choice. Besides, since Michael is not here today, Aiden will not be here either, and she will eat more pudding. Alan insists that even if he doesn't come again, that would be fine, since isn't the meeting over? The girl asks if he still doesn't get along with Michael, to which the guy replies that, compared to him, he doesn't get along with Cedric any better, but of course, most of all, he didn't like Rowan. The main character realizes that, if she thinks about it, this guy hasn't come back since he was rejected and has absolutely no willpower. Alan would be better in this regard, but she doesn't think she'll help him. The lady immediately turns to her sister and asks if she can spend the whole day with her. The girl asks if she really wants to be with her, And the main character replies yes. And they suggest playing hide and seek with Luca and Cedric, and then when Joshua comes, they'll play with him too. Meanwhile, Alan asks, what about the man? And the main character, with a smile on her face, replies that they will invite the uncle too. The man smiles at that moment, but Luca asks Lily if she didn't say that she doesn't like hide and seek because it's childish. The girl thinks what a pain this guy is, and she can't say that because Juliana thinks that she likes hide and seek. The young man says that it was the last time he asked Aiden to play hide and seek, to which the lady replies that no, and it was Aiden who then said that he doesn't like hide and seek because he likes to read. Well then, the guy replies that no, it was the lady who said that, and the girl thinks what an asshole he is and that he should show at least a little appropriate ingenuity. The main character immediately points to one side and asks if her brother Cedric is there. When they turn around, the lady grabs Luca by the shoulder and turns him towards her, after which he shows him with his fingers that if another word comes out of his mouth, then she eats the whole pudding herself, and at that very moment, the guy falls silent. The lady turns to the adults and says that she thinks she was mistaken. After which, she looks at the young man and as if telling him to quickly tell her that she likes hide and seek. Hey guys, it seems he got it wrong because it was Aiden who said that he doesn't like hide and seek. The woman then says that it seems so because Aiden found the girl in the office with books. The main character understands that everything worked out and today she also protected her sister's innocent soul. At the same moment, one of the butlers turns to Lady Juliana and claims that he is the son of the Marquis of Cleone. He asks her for a meeting. The main character is shocked, wondering if Rowan really decided to show up. The girl understands that she just scolded him as weak-willed, but he still cannot be a good aristocrat. The lady tells Luca to take the pudding and eat it first. The girl also understands that she needs to do something before eating the pudding. She immediately jumps on her little sister and offers to go together and also understands that no matter how she tries to change everything, history is trying to return to its course. If Rowan interferes again and she can't prevent it, then everything will most likely return to the original, so she must interfere. The little girl understands that her sister cannot be with this idiot, and at this time, the woman asks if Lily can play with Luca. The girl understands that this cannot be allowed because she must go with her sister. Otherwise, he can lure her into a trap. The girl immediately screams that she doesn't want to, and her sister claims that she will quickly talk to this guy and he will quickly return to them. And she can also eat not one, but 2 puddings. The main character wonders if she can eat one with custard and the other with chocolate, and almost agrees. But then he realizes that it's impossible, because even if Putin is the one who's Khan, he can't let his sister go alone, and the lady immediately grabs her sister. Then Alan says that he will go with him, because he would also like to look at his face. The main character immediately smiles and thinks that's great, because let Alan follow his sister and be a good nuisance. The girl also understands that he has plenty of courage, so she'll call him brother. Juliana says he can visit him later and then they can talk, since he's probably here on business. The main character understands that he'll just push her weak spot again, and they'll have to go through all sorts of hardships. Alan at this time claims that he doubts that he will come to him and he will just greet the guy so that they can go together, but the girl replies that someone should look after the children, after which she asks him to do it and also states that she will return soon and therefore wishes them to have a good time. And when she leaves, Alan is perplexed. The protagonist understands that if Michael had been there, he would have definitely convinced her, but for some reason he overtired himself at such an inopportune moment. They cling to her like ghosts only when they are no longer needed. But at that very moment, someone else enters the room and the main character realizes that she is just like this pathetic guy. The girl also wonders if Michael left his nephew with Cedric and waves to the children. Aiden smacks her back and Joshua turns away in displeasure. Meanwhile, Alan turns to Cedric and insists that it's just how it happened. So let him look after the children. But his interlocutor is interested in where the guy is heading. Alan replies that Rowan Cleone just arrived to see Juliana. He also claims there's no time, so he'll go first. And let the guy take care of the kids. The main character realizes she's a little worried about Alan going alone. But if she goes alone, then Cedric will stop her. But if they all go together and this little thing agrees, then it might work out. But if they follow her out of interest, then, when her sister catches her, she can come up with an excuse, and then the lady comes up with something. She also asks if the boys want to play. Lily insists she won't repeat herself, so they should listen carefully. Now, they will be on a secret mission, and this is a very important mission in which no one should catch them. She will be the leader, and her brother Cedric will be the commander, and they will all be her subordinates. Well then, Joshua claims that he also wants to be a leader and asks why it should be a girl. The main character at this time claims that if he allows her to be the leader, she will give up her pudding. The guy nods at the same moment, and the lady understands that this is excellent and they can also move forward. A little while later, they all follow each other, and the main character realizes that they are almost there. The girl wonders if Alan is not there. He should already be inside, but what if not? So he really got lost and is now wandering around. The lady immediately leans against the door and the others do the same. At the same moment, the girl hears her sister asking if it turns out that he is asking her to become his partner. The main character immediately opens the door and screams that it's no good, and also thinks what kind of nonsense this is. Juliana asks Lily why she is there and then also sees Cedric. She asks why the guy is there and where Alan is. The main character replies that Uncle Alan went after her. She also understands that this idiot couldn't even get there, which is why something irreparable almost happened. At this time, Juliana asks what is going on there, and Cedric claims that they are playing a secret mission. The main character immediately claims that she suggested this, but still asks her sister what the uncle said. And did he really ask to be his partner again? If so, then it means his little sister will leave him again. Rowan is silent at this time, but at that very moment, someone addresses him, causing the guy to shudder. It turns out to be Cedric. Rowan immediately feels pressure, but Juliana tells Cedric not to scare Rowan. The guy replies that he is not scared and is just glad to see him after a long time. But at that very moment, the main character turns to her sister again and asks how the man spoke about the partnership. The woman then says that Lily can't do that in front of the guests. Rowan immediately gets up from his seat and states that he thinks today is just not the day, so he will write to Juliana. The girl tells him to wait. The main character understands that Cedric did a good job. Rowan immediately runs out of the room and insists he'll send the letter. Juliana then turns to Cedric, and he says he shouldn't have brought the kids there. The guy immediately apologizes, crestfallen. The main character turns to her sister and claims she was the one who asked. The woman wonders if Lily also simply wanted to greet the guest or not. The girl replies that if her sister dates this man, she will go far away. Juliana looks at her little sister, then hugs her and asserts that she will not go anywhere. He also wonders why Lily continues to think this way. Meanwhile, Cedric turns to Juliana, and he begins to talk about the partner Cleone asked about. If he's talking about the prince's birthday banquet, then the guy asks her if she'd like to go there with him. The main character thinks how their shy girl has become so bold. But they say still waters run deep, and the guy plucked up his courage. The girl realizes Rowan had invited her too, so she'll show him kindness again. The main character immediately turns to her sister and insists that she also wants her to go with Cedric. But when her sister tries to say something about Rowena, then the girl immediately screams that she doesn't like that man because he's weak-willed compared to Cedric. The girl also turns to the guy and understands that she is helping him with all her might, and also that he is really just standing there, so he should quickly do something. The guy at the same time claims that children can also be present at this banquet, so Lily and Joshua can go together. The main character thinks why she and Joshua should go there, but her sister says that it's a good idea. Then he turns to Lily and asks if she likes it. The girl then understands that if they like it, they'll be fine. She felt the same way, so she simply decided to stop thinking. A little while later, Alan cries out that he thought he'd teleported into the living room. The guy also asks why he ended up in the wrong place, but Juliana wonders if she didn't tell him. If you use teleportation in the house, the final destination will be the basement warehouse, and the guy replies that she didn't say that. Well, the girl also asks why he would use teleportation. The main character understands that this is why he was not in the guest room, and next time he will ask before using magic. At this time, Juliana also claims that she cannot understand why all of them, and even Cedric, do not like Rowan. After which they all fall silent and the main character thinks that it is only the older sister. She doesn't understand what's going on. The lady also looks at Joshua, who is engrossed in eating desserts. The girl realizes he now has 4 puddings, but 2 of them were originally hers. Well, if Aiden hadn't come, all 4 would have been hers. At this time, the blonde closes his puddings and wonders why the lady keeps looking at him. The main character thinks he's such a rude person and realizes he'll steal everything and eat it. Juliana claims she thinks Lily and Joshua fight a lot, but she gets along with Luca and Aiden. But Cedric says that Joshua woke up first today and was ready to go out almost immediately, so he doesn't think that the guy doesn't love Lily. The main character wonders if the guy really likes her, and he grumbles. Meanwhile, Alan asks if the lady mentioned the prince's birthday banquet next month. The girl replies that His Highness the Prince allowed children of Lily's age to be present. The girl loves sweets, so she'll take her with her. The main character realizes her sister knows her very well, and all the food will be prepared by chefs from the Empire. There will be plenty of handmade cakes made by the most famous chefs, and there are many heavenly desserts that don't even compare to ordinary ones. Alan is interested at this point. Luca asks if he wants to go with her, and he agrees. Aiden also raises his hand and says he wants to go too. Juliana says that she will tell Michael about this, and she thinks that he will gladly agree. At this time, Aiden hands out his pudding to the lady, and the main character thinks that this is true because in their time, it is not worth arguing with the person she likes, and it is better to show attention. The girl immediately thanks Aiden and claims that she likes people who care about others like him. The girl also thinks that Joshua should look at it because this is how you should treat the person you like. The blonde is silent for a while, after which he turns to the main character. And handing her a pudding, he asks if she wants to eat one, to which the lady responds with joy. And Juliana says it will be good if Lily doesn't get into trouble there. The girl replies that she'll keep a low profile. And he understands that, by the way, a dance evening is a very nerve-wracking event for a native Korean. She's so glad she's still a child, because if she's clumsy, everyone will understand. But something worries her, and the girl asks if her sister will dance at the banquet. The girl replies that if Lily wants it, they will. After this, the main character asks if her sister should put on a beautiful dress and not a sagging and unsightly one. But at the same moment, her sister insists that Lily has no clothes, so she doesn't even know what to do, since she probably doesn't have time to book a boutique. Alan asks if the dress is that important. And Juliana replies that naturally, this is her sweet Lily's first banquet, so she needs to look beautiful. A little while later, Mikhail states that he thinks blue suits Lily better. And the woman replies that she thought pastel colors would look good because Lily has pink hair, but the image becomes completely invisible. At this time, the guy says that they also tried on dark colors, and he was also surprised that the gray color did not suit her either. Several hours have passed since this dress was chosen, and at this time, the little sister turns to Lily, and he also wonders if she'll try this one on too. The girl silently asks someone to stop these lunatics. The lady clearly remembers Juliana claiming she had no free time left at Madame Dwell's boutique. Meanwhile, Michael insists that two dark colors make Lily's complexion worse, so he thinks blue would be a good choice. Her sister replies that she thought so too, and the main character understands that Michael Evans is a scoundrel, and he took his chance because others don't understand dresses. The lady then says that since Lily prefers eating to dancing, a comfortable dress would be best. She then turns to Madame Dwell and asks her to make the dress more loose-fitting. The woman also says they can both sit down. Well, the lady replies that everything is fine, and besides, she wants to do it herself. And he wonders if this would be tactless. The woman immediately comes to you with a good delight. And the main character understands that she is sure this girl will create about 100 dresses for her sister. Michael, meanwhile, insists that velvet is heavy and collects a lot of dust, so silk would be better. And the lady's sister insists that since the dress needs to be loose, she thinks organza would be suitable. After which, the lady turns to the boutique owner and explains what needs to be done, and the woman replies that she understands. Meanwhile, the protagonist silently apologizes to the lady and realizes that her sister is being overly proactive in this regard. And the person next to her is almost the same. And a little while later, Juliana says that she is glad that Michael helped her, because otherwise she would have gotten into trouble. Alan gets up from his seat and asks if they are finished, to which the lady replies that yes, and they decided to sew first and then try it on. Cedric says that he thinks Lily will look great in anything, and Juliana replies that of course she will, because she is her little sister. A little while later, they also enter the children's room, and the main character thinks what lazy people they are. After all, while she was suffering, they weren't enjoying peace and quiet. Juliana turns to Lily and says she tried hard. Then he asks if they should go have dessert. The girl replies yes, but she tells her sister that she will eat when everyone leaves, and she wants dessert for dinner. The lady realizes they were probably all expecting dessert, but no way. They should have at least asked her once if she was okay. The girl also realizes that today's dessert is entirely hers. A little while later, the lady realizes that it seems like it was just yesterday. Finally, the day has come and soon she will be able to try desserts from the Imperial Palace. A little while later, the girl is already heading to the Imperial Palace with her sister. Juliana says that if a girl wants to go somewhere, she should definitely tell her to always go with friends, and that she agrees. Lily also thinks that her sister should just pay attention to Cedric. Well, then the main character notices that he is not around, and at that very moment someone turns to Juliana. after which he asks for forgiveness for the fact that he was a little late. This road was blocked. So he got off earlier and ran there, and entrusted Josh to Evans. At this time, the main character looks at the guy's shirt and points out that the buttons need some work. But this is the first time she's seen anything like this. Meanwhile, Juliana tells Cedric that everything is fine, after which she asks him to lower his head a little and fixes the guy's hair. Cedric immediately becomes embarrassed, and the main character thinks that she would even believe it. If anyone had said there was a relationship between them, Alan and Michael also approached a little while later, and the guy with blue hair claims that Juliana is very beautiful today. Sikael says that she is always beautiful. He also asks if the Emperor has yet given his congratulatory speech, and the main character realizes that the little thing has also dressed up. Michael claims he doesn't think he'll come, since he's the second prince. The main character wonders if the second prince deserves the same treatment. He is her age, but has never appeared in Naval, so the girl doesn't even know what he is like. Well then, the lady pays attention to this place and realizes that it looks like paradise. At this time, Cedric turns to Juliana and, kissing her hand, asks if she would like to dance with him. The main character understands that if she were her sister, she would fall for this and most likely it would be a direct hit. But Juliana is Juliana, so the woman simply agrees. The main character then tells her sister that she and the boys will eat something tasty. Juliana also tells the girl not to go far from Michael and Alan. The main character thinks she shouldn't worry and should have a good time because she won't cause any problems, and Aiden shouldn't worry either. But she's still a little worried about Luca and Joshua. Aiden turns to Lily and claims he thinks there's chocolate cake there, then asks if he should bring her a piece. She replies yes and thanks him. Michael claims that he also wants to find the treats that Lily likes, and asks if the boy will wait there. Alan also tells Evans to stay put because he will do it himself, and the main character understands that these idiots are going crazy. I wonder what is going on between Cedric and Juliana. The girl also claims she'll be there so they can both go because she wants to eat a lot. The main character realizes she's given them a chance. At this time, one of the guys claims that Leah said that at least one should stay with the children. Then Michael says that Lowell should stay, but the guy replies that their Lily is so smart that he thinks that everything will be fine with her. The main character understands that if it were Cedric, he would never leave her alone, so she doesn't know if Juliana will grumble. The girl also looks at Luca and asks where Joshua is. The guy replies that there are a lot of people there, so he just left. He doesn't like all this. The main character asks him what he's talking about, after which he jumps up, and he also understands that he should have told her to leave only afterward. The lady immediately runs out into the street, and she cries out to Luca that she'll quickly find Joshua and return, and that he should stay there. The young man replies that the elder woman told her to be there, to which the lady replies that she will indeed return immediately. A short time later, the girl runs outside and calls Joshua. She claims that if the guy doesn't show up right now, she won't give him any desserts next time. Lily realizes that if it gets even darker, she doesn't think she'll be able to find him, after which she screams at the guy again. When the lady comes down the stairs, she sees a boy with blonde hair, after which she grabs him by the shoulder and speaks to him. Well, when the young man turns to the lady, the girl thinks that she made a mistake but does not understand who it is. At this time, the young man is wondering who this girl is, and the main character understands that this is the second prince. Lily wonders if she should address the prince respectfully, but he speaks to her informally. Well then, the girl understands that because of an informal relationship, she would not like to be left without a head, and this is a little ambiguous. The girl immediately says that she confused him with another person and understands that this is called talking to oneself and running away. At this time, the young man asks how she dared to touch him. And the girl understands that, judging by the manner of communication, he is definitely the second prince. Taking a closer look, she sees that he doesn't look like Joshua at all, because the guy has white hair and red eyes. And he even looks like a little rabbit. Lily bows and claims she couldn't recognize him right away, so she was rude and is very sorry. The girl understands that, usually in romance fantasy novels, the hero who has been transported knows the story, but she doesn't understand why she doesn't even know the guy's name. At this time, the young man asks what family she is from, after which the lady bows, and she claims that she is the second daughter of Count Blanchett, and her name is Liliana Blanchett. Well, after which they look at each other, and the main character thinks why he just stared. And is this guy also fascinated by her? Well, she already has enough of Aiden and Joshua, but at that very moment the lady again remembers Joshua and understands that her sister and Cedric will soon finish dancing and Michael and Aslan will return. When the prince turns to the lady again, she only bows and cries out that she is very busy now. If he has any questions for her, let him ask them at the next meeting. The girl leaves the prince alone and goes in search of Joshua. A short time later, the girl runs up to him screaming. She also understands that maybe she should just stop searching because they will be punished anyway, and, moreover, her strength is running out. When a lady collapses on a shelf, she realizes that she has no strength at all because she hasn't had dinner. But at that very moment, someone approaches her, and the lady realizes it's Joshua. The main character immediately screams out to him, and she wonders if he even knows how long she's been looking for him. Recently, the guy was sitting in a tree and heard the lady screaming at him. He claims that he heard her calling him recently, and the lady says that if he heard, then why didn't he answer? The girl hits the guy on the head and thinks what a child he is. Then the lady drags him along with her, and she understands that she is also babysitting this idiot. But he was sitting in a tree. Although she looked for him so diligently, the guy should be glad that she is not Juliana. At this time, the blonde screams out why the girl hit him, and the main character is about to answer something. But at the same moment, the guy gets scared, and the main character freezes, and also understands. It turns out that she did a bad thing, but she is also 8 years old, but she still spoke very angrily. After which, the girl lightly hits the guy on the head and asks him not to do that again. Because, does he even know how difficult it was to find him? Aiden turns to Lily at this time and claims that he didn't think the lady would say that. The main character, looking at the guy with dessert in his hands, thinks he's such a wonderful boy, and has already learned what she likes and brought only what she likes. The girl also asks what's wrong with her little sister, and the guy replies that she hasn't returned yet. Well, the main character wonders if the dance music hasn't ended yet, after which the young man also claims that his uncle has just arrived. Michael immediately pushes his friend, and Alan turns to the lady and also claims that she promised not to go anywhere. The girl just points at Joshua as if telling him to look, because the reason is this guy. Michael says he doesn't think he should have left, but the girl did a good job of finding Joshua. The main character claims that the uncles left them to look at their little sister, and if she says so, then it's still okay. Lady realizes she didn't intend to say anything at first, but her search for Joshua has ruined her promise. Michael asks Lily to think carefully, as she was the one who said they could go together. Meanwhile, the girl insists that Juliana doesn't like people who make excuses. The girl also hands one of the desserts to Joshua, and the young man takes it and claims that he really hates her. The main character says that if Joshua lies, he will grow a ponytail, and at that very moment, the guy looks at his back. And the main character starts laughing? Meanwhile, Juliana approaches Lily and says she must have eaten a lot of desserts. The main character immediately runs up to her sister and wonders if she knows how hard it was for her, while the girl was dancing with Cedric. But when the main character looks at the guy, she notices that something has changed in him. Alan also looks at him and claims that he has a tie on that he didn't have before. The main character is shocked and wonders if the button really couldn't withstand the pressure during the dance. The guy claims that he wore the same tailcoat that he wore several years ago. And Juliana adds that they were tidying up the place, which is why they were late. Alan immediately claims that they should have gone to the guest room first, and the main character thinks, did they really feel it too? After all, it was a weak but no less embarrassing, slightly tickling atmosphere. So the chaotic ball for them ended and everything returned to their peaceful everyday life. After the ball, relations between Juliana and Cedric improved. Michael Besco was relieved by this, and he sent Cedric a strange and unimaginable outfit as a gift. The girl understood that these clothes did not suit him at all. A little while later, Aiden approaches Lily and asks if she'll be sleeping there too tonight. She replies, no, and that Luca and Joshua are actively playing ball, but Michael and Alan are not there, so she's bored. The main character understands that Juliana and Cedric spend time alone together, and the girl thinks whether they will be jealous when they find out about this, because everyone wants to get Juliana's love in order to marry her. The girl immediately gets up from her seat and asks Aiden if he likes her and if he wants to marry her. The guy is embarrassed by this and insists that's just how they say it. But the girl interrupts him and insists that to marry her you need a lot of money. He should also allow her to eat 5 desserts every day before they are also strong and smart. The lady also thinks that the guy should cheer up. But as she thought, a child is a child. After which she also turns to Aiden and tells him to wake her up in an hour. In response to this, the guy agrees, and exactly an hour later the lady is already approaching her little sister. But Juliana at the same moment asks if Lily really did something in the Imperial Palace. The woman claims that a letter arrived from the second prince, and the girl understands that it was not worth relying on Avos. The main character immediately hears someone pat her on the back and thinks that the guy doesn't know what she did, and also whether he was really going to leave her there alone. Cedric claims that perhaps Lily didn't create any problems, and the girl understands that this is true because the only thing she did was grab someone by the shoulder, thinking it was Joshua, and run away after the conversation. The girl immediately turns to her sister and tells her to give this letter to her because she wants to read her letter herself. When the main character looks at it, she understands that her sister did not open it, but she still does not understand how Juliana found out that it was from the second prince. When the girl turns the letter over, she realizes that now everything is clear because it is addressed to her. The prince wrote that at the last ball, the lady said that if he had anything to say, they could talk in person. So he writes her a letter and he would like to apologize for his rudeness towards her last time, because he didn't have time to tell her this then and now. He wants to invite her to his palace. To offer a proper apology, he also encloses a pass to the Imperial Palace. It also states that the letter is from Carlisle Evans. The main character, reading this last name, is surprised and then turns to Aiden, and he wonders if he is a relative of the Emperor. But the guy asks if it matters. After all, he has nothing in common with the inheritance sent, and the strongest candidate is the first prince, and after him the second, and after them his father. Lily understands that the one she has been teasing all the time is related by blood to the Emperor, so she should have realized this even back when Michael said that he was the Archduke. The girl thought that this was just an appeal because of his power and influence, and also asking the guy, will she forgive him if she did something to him? The guy tells Lily to just forget, and Juliana pats her sister on the head and claims that in any case she is glad that Lily did not get into trouble, after which she apologizes for the misunderstanding. She also turns to the little girl and asks if she wants to visit the Imperial Palace, because if she accepts the invitation, she will have to decide when and send a response. Lily asks if she can go with me, and the woman says it's okay if she politely declines. The woman understands that she thinks he's slowly falling in love with her, but she doesn't want to do anything annoying. However, the desserts at the palace are simply fantastic, after which the lady states that she wants to go and eat desserts there, to which her sister agrees. When the main character pays attention to Aiden, she realizes that he is now exactly like Michael. She even felt uneasy. The guy turns to Lily and asks if he can go with her. The main character wonders if he is jealous now, but Aiden still behaves like an adult, so she thinks there won't be any problems. The girl said this, but now she was standing in front of the prince. She sees his displeased face, and the boy claims that he did not come to see anyone at Miss Blanchette's. The girl at this time watches these two and thinks that cocoa is so delicious. Aiden claims that Sister Lily is helping his uncle at a meeting of aristocrats, so now he is looking after her. He also asks if he can ask about how the prince met Liliana. The girl realizes that they are cousins, and what kind of atmosphere of rivalry is this, considering they're her age? The guy, with a smile on his face, claims that this was simply meant to happen and looks at the main character. The girl understands that it was not something special and not even close, so let him not look at her as if she was a person from his old memories. And he left, claiming that last time he behaved impolitely because it was sudden, and the main character asks why he did this. The guy claims he invited the lady there for a reason, but at that moment, Aiden interrupts him and asks if Lily wants a serving of those desserts. The prince adds that he called her to meet again, but the brunette says that if not this dessert, then maybe she wants a cake and shows how much can be cut off. But at that moment, the prince furiously puts down his cup of tea, and an aura of bloodthirstiness hangs between them. Lily immediately turns to Aiden, and this is exactly what the prince said. The girl also turns to Carlisle, and she claims that, to be honest, she only came there for the desserts, so she thinks they should behave appropriately. All of this will later become a dark past. Meanwhile, the prince insists that the lady can come and eat desserts anytime. Lily asks if he can send them to her mansion, to which the guy replies that it is difficult, because then he won't be able to see her. The main character realizes that he feels like he's not 10, but 30, and she wonders why this happened. After all, while looking for a husband for her little sister, she'd assembled a whole reverse harem. The girl understands that it's all Cedric's fault. If he hadn't brought Joshua, everything would have been fine. The lady also understands that she's deducting 50 points from Cedric Royston. People then claim that if this continues, it will become difficult for her. Even if she acts like an adult, she's only 8 years old and she just loves desserts and her sister. The girl realizes she doesn't have enough hands to fully protect her. After the ball, men like Rowan began bombarding her sister with letters, and she had to get up at the crack of dawn to hide them. And then she pretended to be asleep again. And besides the kids, she already had her hands full with worries. Then the prince asks how they could become friends. The heroine realizes that starting with friendship is a classic scenario. And the guy claims that every week he will send the imperial pastry chef to her. The girl immediately smiles and replies that this is great, because then from this day on they can be friends. At this time, Aiden tells Lily that he can send him, but the main character thinks that the guy should relax. After all, in her eyes, the two of them are objects of ridicule. The girl also tells the prince that they will decide that way then. Well, the guy suggests calling him by his name, and the main character replies that she understands, after which she does so. The lady claims that since they are now friends and, in order to become closer, maybe she should also speak less formally. The lady understands that she is the only one using respectful speech there and that this is unfair, to which the guy replies that he didn't even think about it. And he definitely likes it. The main character realizes she was trying to make fun of him, but the guy has a smile like a rabbit, after which the girl says that it's great now. Carlisle and Aiden should live in peace because her friend's friend is also her friend, but when the boys look at each other, their faces become gloomier, but the main character doesn't pay attention to this and continues to gobble up desserts. Corrail, as promised, sent the imperial chef every weekend. Juliana, of course, was displeased. The girl understood that she couldn't send the cook or the desserts back because it was sincerely from the second prince, and she couldn't watch how many desserts Lily ate. So the girl set up rules for sharing desserts, and when the cook came, 3 children were invited. Well, the main character understands that even this cannot cool her love for desserts. But at the same moment, the lady feels some pain and understands that another problem has arisen. Aiden at the same moment asks what happened, and Joshua asks where it hurts. The girl sees an expression on Joshua's face that seems to say that he knew it. Luca insists that Lily shouldn't frown when eating desserts, but the girl suggests that he focus on the dessert. Aiden excitedly asks if Lily has a toothache, and the main character mentally asks them to be quieter. The girl says that they should listen carefully because this also concerns them, and if her sister hears this, then she will definitely say that she told me to eat so many desserts. And from today on, she can no longer eat sweets, and desserts will also be banned, and she also told the imperial chef not to come. The girl says this is what's going to happen and asks if they figured it out. Luca then asks what to do, and Joshua asks why she doesn't get her bad tooth pulled. The main character thinks this Joshua is just like always. But she still doesn't understand what to do and whether it's possible to cure a tooth with the help of magic, since there is no modern medicine there. Aiden claims that it will be worse if she leaves everything as it is. Hey, the girl understands that she knows. After which the young man asks how about asking Togo's older brother Luke. The main character understands that this is Alan and when they will be alone at the medical examination. Then she will get a chance, and one day the lady turns to Alan as an older brother. The guy immediately becomes shocked and asks why the girl suddenly called him brother. The girl asks if he can fulfill one of her requests, and Alan asks what it is. He also asks if the girl wants more dessert or to see magic. She should also remember to tell Juliana that her big brother is so cool and played with Lily. But the girl replies, that's not it, and that he should promise not to tell his sister about it. The guy asks what she's talking about, and she insists that he first promises not to tell, to which he agrees. The girl whispers that she has a toothache, but she wants to continue eating desserts. After which, she asks if he will help her. The guy then turns to Lily, and with a kind smile he asks if she will then call him Big Brother. The main character understands that he also wants to use her to score points in front of Juliana. After which the lady says that this is only for one time and tells the guy that this is why she should brush her teeth well, and the lady says that she will do so in the future. The guy also claims that he doesn't like that Lily calls him Big Brother only when she needs something, and the girl wonders whether he will cure her or not. After which the young man says that for this reason, the lady should call him that only when she really wants it. Even if she doesn't call him Big Brother on purpose, he will still do what she wants. The main character understands that magic is better than modern medicine, and she did not feel any pain at all. The girl understands that he is such a kind fool, and she forgives him for scaring her at their first meeting, after which she hugs the guy and thanks him. The guy smiles in response to this, and a little while later, the girl returns to her sister. Juliana asks if they have finished the medical examination yet, and the girl happily answers that yes. Juliana also says that mail has arrived for Lily, as well as an official document about a referral to take a magic test. Michael claims that Aiden got one too, and Alan claims that Luke got one too. But children grow up so fast. The main character asks if this is really a magic test, after which she wonders if these two also got it, and that means all children who have turned 8 years old must take this test. The girl also asks what's so good about it, to which her sister replies that it's all to determine whether she'll go to the academy later or not. Lily asks if she doesn't have a predisposition for magic, she won't be able to go to the academy, to which her sister replies that this is true, and the girl understands that this is unfair. But why can't she study if she simply doesn't have the ability for magic? Juliana claims that everything is fine because if Lily can't get into the academy, she can go to a private school or study in the mansion. Lily understands that the academy can in any case only be dedicated to people who know how to use it. Alan claims that sometimes even people like Royston, with uncontrollable magic, are accepted. This is probably because he's a monster in every way. When the main character looks at Michael's face, she wonders if he is jealous even because of a simple conversation about Cedric. At this time, Juliana turns to Lily and asks if she wants to go to the academy. The girl understands that when she read the novel she had various fantasies, but she does not know whether she has magic or whether the marriage about entering the academy occurs 7 years after the story. At this time, Alan is wondering when the exact date of the test is because Luca immediately threw the letter in the comments that he was unable to read it. Michael claims that in a month, and Alan asks what the exact date is, but his interlocutor wonders why he doesn't find out for himself. Alan claims his heart flutters when the guy says it with such a smile, so he asks him not to smile. Michael is silent for a moment, after which everyone looks at him coldly. The main character understands that she cannot believe that he brought Michael to this, and this is Alan's hidden power. Juliana, who needs to be near her, is also worried, but at that very moment, the girl turns to Lily, and she claims that she also received a letter from her parents, and the woman is wondering if the girl will write them a response. The main character realizes that she doesn't know how to react to her parents' stories, and if she responds indifferently, her sister will feel depressed or suspect something. If she were reborn there wouldn't be such difficulties. And if Liliana from the original had dreamed of her and told her that everything would be fine because this body was now hers, then life would certainly have become easier for her. The girl says that a little later, when everyone leaves, they can read it and her sister agrees. The girl understands that most of the texts in the Blanchett couple's letter concern Juliana. They only asked about her health once, and the girl wonders if Liliana had a bad relationship with her parents from the start. Perhaps because of frequent business trips, they didn't develop a sense of affection. At this time, Juliana says that she thinks it would be better for her to answer this letter herself, and the main character wonders if she's lucky. A little while later, the lady's sister approaches Lily. He asks her not to leave the second prince's palace, to which the protagonist replies not to worry. Juliana also claims she'll be back soon and wishes the girl a good time. After which, she heads off with Michael. The protagonist realizes that from behind, they look pretty good together. Cedric also looks good, but then the lady realizes that he hasn't come to them for a long time, and does he really have a lot of things to do? At the same moment, someone else turns to Lily and says that he is glad to meet her again. And yet, she's just as beautiful today. The main character greets the guy and silently adds that he's still flirting today. At this time, the prince suggests going somewhere else today, not to the palace, because he would be only glad to be her escort, but the girl replies that her sister told her not to leave the palace. The young man replies that they will return before her sister, because he knows the time when the meeting of aristocrats will end. Lily understands that he wants to look like an adult, but he is still such a child, and if Carlisle had not been born in the imperial palace, he would probably have grown up as ordinary as Joshua and Luke. The young man asks where the lady would like to go first, and if it's not the main palace, it doesn't matter. The girl replies that she wants to go to the best, most refreshing, beautiful, and sunny place. To which the young man replies that this place is the imperial palace, but when he turns to his servants, they remain silent. The guy immediately becomes sad about the main character, smiles and says that then Carlisle? He took her to his favorite place, to which the guy replies that then they will go to the garden near the building of the Second Knightly Order. There's a very beautiful fountain there. The main character thinks about the Second Order of Knights and realizes that Cedric is there. The lady wonders if she will be able to meet him, and he will probably be wearing the uniform of the Order of Knights. But suddenly, she felt that she missed him and had hot fantasies about knights. The girl immediately suggests going faster, and the guy claims that she has become more active than before. After which, he offers to ride in the carriage and extends his hand. The main character gives him her hand in return, and they enter the carriage. A short time later, they arrive at the destination, and the lady realizes she feels like an aristocrat. The man claims that if they walk just a little further, they'll soon see the garden. When the girl turns around, the young man asks if she is looking for something, to which the lady replies that yes, she is looking for her sister's friend from the Second Knightly Order of the Imperial Family. The guy then asks if she was looking for a person, and the girl immediately apologizes, but he replies that it is not necessary. He also suggests looking for it together before going into the garden, to which the lady thanks him. And she also thinks what a kind young man he is. The prince asks what his name is, and the lady replies that it's Cedric Royston. Carlyle then claims that he received disciplinary punishment for the misdeeds he caused in the Imperial Palace, and for now he is suspended from service, which surprises the main character and wonders what the guy is talking about. And also, did Cedric really cause trouble in the Imperial Palace? The girl wonders if they are talking about the one who usually sat quietly and knitted and was also the most attentive person in the world. She also wonders if the whole image up until this point was false and he was holding back his character in front of the Blanchett sisters, or if he has a dual personality. At this time, the prince claims that he also does not understand, because the commander of the Second Knightly Squad is not like that, and the main character understands that this does not look like the created character. A little while later, they are already inside the carriage, and the main character asks her sister if she knew about it. That Cedric got his punishment. The protagonist realizes that she sees Michael isn't at all surprised, which means he knows everything. Perhaps it is because he often visits the palace, and then he probably knows the reason too. The girl turns to the man and asks if he knows why Cedric was punished. But when he smiles, the girl understands that this smile says that he knows everything. Michael claims that if a girl calls him Big Brother, then so be it. The main character thinks he's such an opportunist, considering Alan said he'd do anything for her even if she didn't call him that, and he cured her cavity for no reason. Juliana tells him not to tease her too much, to which he agrees, insisting he was just joking. Answering Lily's question, he can say that it happened because of Rowan, and the main character thinks why this guy was there. Michael claims that he heard that Rowan briefly visited the Imperial Palace, and he thinks that this is what caused the problem. The main character, Alice, realizes that this idiot ultimately knows nothing at all. When Rowan visited the Imperial Palace, he encountered Cedric there. Given his cowardly nature, it's hard to imagine him arguing with Cedric. But he also attended the banquet on the occasion of the second prince's birthday and saw that Cedric was Juliana's partner. Feeling inferior, he couldn't ignore it. At this point, Juliana says she thinks Rowan made a mistake, and she needs to visit Cedric. The main character realizes that her sister has come to a similar conclusion, but she's been thinking too long and now wants something sweet. However, if she keeps getting cavities, maybe Alan won't hide it. It's worth waiting. Michael says that if he thinks about it, quite a lot of time has passed, and he wonders how about going somewhere to eat, since he knows a good restaurant nearby. The main character wonders if he wants to go with the three of them, and the track is obvious, but the guys answer that they also serve desserts there. The girl thinks how smart he is and suggests going. Michael claims Lily seems very eager and asks if they'll go, to which the lady's sister replies, okay. Juliana also asks the girl if she really likes desserts so much, if she likes them more than her sister. The girl immediately shakes her head and claims that she likes her sister the most. Juliana immediately says that she also likes Lily more than anyone else in the whole world. The protagonist realized that at that moment her heart felt as heavy as if someone had cut her off. But there was no particular reason for it. The lady simply thought she had done something very nasty to her, and it will be enough for Juliana to be happy with the person who suits her best, but the girl still thinks whether what she is doing is right and whether she can decide the meaning of happiness for her sister. Besides Rowan, it would be right to let the girl choose from the others herself, and moreover, she is not a real younger sister. A little while later, the girl eats reluctantly, and her sister asks if Lily is in any pain. The girl immediately replies that no, and her sister insists that if something happens, she'll tell her sister about it. Lily replies that nothing really happened, and then the woman asks why she doesn't eat dessert, to which the lady replies something like, because she's full. And Juliana claims that she did say that she has a separate stomach for desserts. Lily understands that she actually doesn't remember this, and her thoughts are now confused, so she can't swallow anything, but she can't say everything as it is. If she tells her sister that she is not actually her real sister, and this world is inside the book that she read, then she chooses the main character of the book that will suit her better. Then, she will simply be taken to the hospital and then kicked out of the house or left to live until she becomes an adult. And when she comes of age, she'll simply be kicked out. Their relationship will be ruined anyway. The girl understands that living alone is not bad either, but now she really likes Juliana and she cannot leave her. The lady also understands that she had already thought that she had begun to sincerely like Juliana, not as a book character, but as her older sister. Lily claims that she likes her older sister and therefore wants her to be happy. After this, Juliana turns to Michael and apologizes but states that they will step away for a while and asks if he will wait. The main character understands that she would be fine even if the girl left her alone. But of course, this will take a lot of time and there will be no ideal solution to the problem, because sometimes depression will roll in. However, her sister does not want to leave her alone, and when the girl bends down in front of Lily, then he asks her to look at her little sister. The main character understands that this is the kind of person she is and it's simply impossible not to love her. The girl is the one who said that she likes her more than anyone else, after which the main character apologizes to her sister. And she realizes she didn't want to take her sister's place. The woman wonders if something has happened in the Imperial Palace. The girl replies that no, and her sister asks if it is because of all those letters she hid. Just as the main character is about to answer that she doesn't, she suddenly screams in shock and wonders who she heard this from. Juliana tells Lily not to worry because she's not mad at her. She was interested in what the girl does every morning, and the main character realizes that she saw everything. Juliana asks if Lily doesn't want her to date someone. And the main character wonders if her older sister was not slow-witted, and she believed in it and also thought that she was acting smart. But if only she knew why she did it. After all, above the one running, there's the one flying. Juliana tells Lily that everything is fine, and she did say she likes her little sister best of all. The main character apologizes to her sister once again, and she turns to Lily and also claims that, compared to the time when the lady was a baby and could not speak, now they can have a sincere conversation. That's why she wants to do whatever Lily wants, and under no circumstances wants to date someone she doesn't like. She thinks that Lily, unlike her, is a good judge of character and will help her meet a good man. The protagonist realizes that instead of scolding her, her sister asked for her help. And in order for gentle Juliana to be happy with another person besides her, she is ready to help as much as needed. The girl also says that in exchange, her sister should tell her if she finds a man she likes, to which she agrees. The girl understands that a similar day will come when she will repent, worry, and be afraid. But she still can't abandon her little sister, so under the pretext of making her happy, she will hide her worthless feeling of remorse. A little while later, they return to the restaurant, and the main character realizes that her dessert is still there. The girl also understands that he looks better than before, and Michael claims that he asked to change all the desserts to new ones. Lily realizes that sometimes he goes beyond her imagination. Meanwhile, the lady's sister asks if the girl will eat now. And the main character nods and also understands that today is the day when Juliana allowed her desserts, so there is no need to think anymore, and she will focus only on this. The eclair that the lady ate was sweeter than ever, and it was so sweet that it became bitter. A few days later, Cedric visited their mansion as if nothing had happened. Looking at him, the main character wonders if he's gotten even bigger. And while he was suspended, all he did was train. Meanwhile, Juliana says Cedric has gotten even stronger. In response to which the guy is embarrassed. The main character thinks what he is doing because while he was gone, Alan and Michael scored points. At this time, Juliana claims that she heard that the guy was suspended and is wondering if this is all because of Rowan. She also asks what happened and the guy replies that nothing like that happened. Meanwhile, Daniel approaches Lily and claims he wants chocolate cake, but she replies that it's peach tarts today. She also suggests that he just wait a little, as she's curious about the reason for his dismissal. Michael, meanwhile, says he doesn't think Royston will tell her just because the lady asked. The girl also sees Aiden, who can barely keep up with his uncle's steps. The main character understands that he tried hard, but Juliana asks if it is because of that one. That she chose him as her partner instead of Rowan. The girl also says that it turns out she's right, since he's shown no reaction. Alan also approaches the guys and asks why they don't go inside and talk. The main character understands that even today, these 3 children of the bigwigs are also there. And Juliana turns to Cedric and says that it would be better for him not to hide the reason. Michael suggests going into the living room, and the main character understands that she is going to take the best seat. A little while later, the guy claims that he knows what Cleone is really like. Michael adds that he has a huge sense of inferiority, while Alan claims he's stupid and self-centered, acting like a victim, and even misunderstanding everything that day. Juliana insists that it's not a good idea to talk behind someone's back. The main character realizes that her sister isn't denying what she said, and she didn't expect such words about Rowan. Pushka also wonders if the main characters don't have compensation elsewhere. Or maybe it can't be covered up with other characteristics, and Cedric says that, in any case, just like Leah said, this guy approached him and started picking on him. He was going to ignore him, but then he started talking about Leah. The girl asks what he said, and the guy replies that he can't say anything about it. The main character understands that it is unlikely that there was anything good there, and if this is what he cannot tell Juliana, it's possible this is just low-grade noise or rumor. Cedric claims he responded rudely and told him to get lost. But the guy didn't stop there, and Alan happily asks if he hit him. The guy replies that everything is correct, and Alan asks again if he put him into eternal sleep, to which Cedric replies that he just scared him a little. The blue-haired boy claims he thinks Rowan must have seen it all as something serious and asks how Cedric managed to intimidate him. The boy replies that he simply drew his sword and said a few words. The guy asks if he was aiming for the neck, and Cedric replies that he didn't harm the man. The main character understands that Cedric can be very passionate at times. Juliana, however, says that no matter how angry he gets, he's not. But you shouldn't have done that, because Cedric is the head of the Knights and a 3-week suspension is not an insignificant punishment. The guy then apologizes to Juliana but claims that he does not regret it, and even if he returned at that moment, he would have done exactly the same thing. Alan, smiling, says he would have gotten detention again. The main character watches the boys. He understands that they look like friends again. But at the academy, they were always together. The main character then turns to Aiden and asks if he knows how to use magic. He replies that he only knows the theoretical part but hasn't used it. Lily asks if this is true, because she thought that he had done this at least once already, to which the guy replies that it was not as good as he thought, and the girl wonders if even a genius like Aiden can't easily use magic. The guy claims that the lady is probably worried about the magic test, and she replies that she is just curious. Josh, Luca, and him? I wonder if they will all get into the academy together, because she would like it to happen. Aiden looks at the elders at this time and then, with a smile on his face, replies that he would like this too. The main character also wonders if Carlisle is going to enter the academy. A little while later, the day of the magic test arrives, and Juliana asks Lily not to be so nervous. The main character realizes that Juliana's magic absorbs light, and it would be great if she could learn it too. Efficiency that can't even be compared to modern technology is called magic. It was her fantasy while she was reading the novel, but it doesn't matter. Even if she can't use it, a normal one will be fine too. Of course, it's good to have distinctive abilities, but they're harmful to the body. And only if you know how to use magic in Meru can you fully enjoy it. Then the ladies understand that they shouldn't expect anything. At this time, Michael enters the room with Aiden, and the main character immediately turns to the boy, and also asks if he is worried, to which the guy replies that he hadn't really thought about it before, because he wants to go to the academy with her. The main character says that everything will work out for him and understands that no matter how you look at it, the guy is a cutie. However, the girl wonders if she can tell anyone that everything will work out and that she is the only one there who needs to try. Luca also runs up to Lily, and the girl thinks why he is alone without his brother. When the guy runs up to them, Juliana asks him where Alan went, after which the young man turns around, but when they don't see his brother, he claims that he has lost his older brother. Everyone else is also shocked, but the young man then claims that everything is fine. After all, his older brother can find him with magic, so he'll come himself. The main character understands that if this is the case, she's happy. Also, since there are so many children aged 8 to 9, the magic test is conducted over several days. Children are also divided by place of residence and status, so there are relatively few people participating today. The main character also thinks that if she is the only one who cannot pass and what is hidden under the word test, it would be better if they wrapped it in a beautiful package called a qualification test for magical abilities. At this point, Juliana tells the girl that it's their turn soon and everything will be over quickly, so she shouldn't worry, which she agrees to. The main character understands that she shouldn't be nervous or overextend herself. A little while later, she is already in front of the examiners, and one of them turns to Liliana Blanchett. He also asks if she can hear them. The girl wonders if this is where they're being tested, but there are no devices there. One of the examiners leans over to the little girl and asks if she can look at it. The main character realizes she was so surprised that she became distracted. The man says the baby doesn't need to be afraid because it will only take a little time and all she needs to do is follow the directions. The girl thinks, If only she could follow the directions. Lily also thinks whether the man will tell her to show her the magic that she can use, because if so, she will answer that she cannot use magic and the examiner will say that then she does not pass. Now the guy tells the girl to take deep breaths, and the main character realizes it's like a medical examination. If he tells her to hold her breath, it'll feel like they're taking an X-ray. The man asks the lady to hold her breath for a second, and she realizes that she knew it all along. After which, the examiner begins to use magic. He then rises and declares that the examination is complete. Another one at this time claims that now the lady also needs to just stand still and let her not be afraid, because he will release his magic around her. The main character understands that this is the same thing that Alan does every time. The examiners say that this is strange, and another agreement, because it is not about his test, but about the main game. He does not think about what they are talking about, because she is not at ease. The third examiner turns to the lady and asks if she can direct the force to her fingertips, as if gathering energy. Lily realizes she can't. And at the same time, the examiners say it's really strange and that they've never eaten anything like this before. Someone else asks if there's a norm for this situation, but another insists that this is the first time, so where would such a norm come from? The lady wonders if she can go home already, and turns to the examiners, after which one of the men turns to the lady, and he apologizes, but claims that he needs to take a couple more tests. After a little while, the girl finally leaves the office and thinks whether she passed, because it all looked like she hadn't succeeded. A little while later, the girl sits in apathy and Joshua turns to her and asks if Lily wants to eat his dessert too. Aiden also turns to Lily and tells her to eat his dessert too because he is not hungry. Luca also turns to the lady and hesitantly hands over his dessert. The main character immediately exclaims, "Why are they all acting like this? And do they really think she won't be able to get into the academy?" The girl also turns to the adults, and she wonders if they really told them to do this. After which she keeps screaming at him not to ignore her. Juliana apologizes to the girl and claims that her sister was worried in front of the lady all day and was not herself because of this. Her uncles and friends are very worried about her, and the main character understands that she will be lenient only because of her little sister. Michael claims that Lily's results are indeed late, as Aiden received his results yesterday morning, and Cedric adds that Joshua did too. But Juliana says that nevertheless, a day has already passed, and the main character thinks that everything is fine. And she decided not to think about anything else, and compared to the academy, she thinks that living like this with her little sister would be nice. Alan, meanwhile, wonders if all the other kids have passed. Michael replies that it is possible, and the lady's sister states that it would be a good idea for them to go to Delir together. But at that very moment, she stops talking and the main character sighs and realizes that her sister doesn't need to worry about her. When Alan wants to say something else, the butler suddenly bursts into the room and makes a statement. The notification had finally arrived. He slowly passed it on to the lady, who turned to Lily. He also asks if the girl wants to open it, to which the main character replies, "Yes." The girl takes the papers in her hands and reads her name. The lady sees a lot of written paper there, and she wonders if it was impossible to write it more simply, but at the same moment she sees her stats and the enormous amount of mana she has. The lady's mana is mixed with a large amount of foreign mana of unknown origin, so verification is required, but her magic usage is very low. And due to the huge amount of magic and the detailed testing required, as well as the ability to use it practically, the decision was postponed, which shocked the girl. At this time, Alan says that apparently his mana mixed with Lily's mana, but Sister Lady responds that she doesn't think that this is so, and the main character wonders if it's really because of that one, that she was reborn in Lily's body, and if Yulana notices this, it will be very bad, because she is still not ready to tell. Aiden turns to Lily and asks if she is okay, to which the girl replies that yes and everything is fine. The guy claims that Lily has high scores compared to other children, so she just needs to practice, and Luca claims that he can help. The girl understands that she is grateful for this, but instead of postponing the decision, she might be better off telling. Her sister is quick-witted and intelligent, and with just a few clues, she immediately makes the right conclusion. The woman then asks if Lily has changed since she was so ill. The protagonist understands that it's certainly difficult to conclude that the soul has been reincarnated. Well, if her sister can figure this out, she doesn't even know what will happen. Alan, meanwhile, insists that if other wizards besides him came, there's no way this could have happened. The woman says that, in any case, they'll only know the details after a thorough investigation. She also turns to Lily and asks, "What is wrong?" And the main character turns to her sister in response. She understands that she is afraid that her older sister will find out the whole truth, and if this happens, she will no longer be able to see such a look. At this time, I ask Juliana if she is really so sad because her sister was just making a scary face. After which, she even apologized to Lily. A few days later, detailed testing was conducted inside the Imperial Palace. When the main character leaves the room, her sister claims that the girl tried hard, and Lily understands that there are so many powerful wizards there, and she feels sick from so much mana. At that same moment, someone else runs up to Lily and claims that he is glad to see her after so much time. The girl understands that since this is the Imperial Palace, she did not expect to see a guy there. Meanwhile, Juliana greets the Crown Prince and states that her name is Juliana Blanchett. Lily realizes that, if she thinks about it, this is the first time her sister has met Carlisle. And it's difficult to greet the royal family like that, so why not just say hello? The young man insists he's heard a lot about the lady from Lily and is glad they can get to know each other properly. The woman suggests the prince speak in a way that will make him more comfortable, but the young man replies that he wants to be polite, since he's Lily's friend. The main character understands that if it weren't for someone like her, then who else in this empire would treat the prince like that? She also asks how the young man knew she was there, and the guy replies that he overheard the conversation. Lily asks what kind. The guy replies that they're talking about the Blanchett family's second child receiving unprecedented results on a magic test. The main character, shocked, asks if he heard that too. A little while later, the guy points out a place he can enter, and it's not far from Cantio. The girl realizes she'll be happy anywhere. And when they enter one of the rooms, the lady realizes that this is the Imperial Library. As she thought, the Blanchett family's training grounds were no match for the Imperial Palace. But talking about the library, she starts thinking about Aiden. He'd be pleased if a guy came there, and she wonders if he's been there since he's related to the royal family. But at that very moment, someone turns to Lily and the main character realizes that he is there. After which she realizes that Michael is there, but she still couldn't know for sure. Meanwhile, the young man greets Lily, and the main character greets him in return, after which the brunette looks at the prince. He also says that Lily often sees the prince, and Carlisle claims that Liliana is his friend. The main character tells the boys that there is a library there, after which they understand. Aiden whispers to Lily and asks why she's there. Carlisle whispers at the same time. He suggests they leave. On the other hand, the guy asks if the prince really just told her to leave, but if so, then she shouldn't worry and just stay there. The prince continues to whisper that it doesn't matter what Aiden Evans says, and they can go because he hasn't seen her for a long time. Lily immediately covers her ears and thinks, when will these crazy people stop? And also claims that she said it last time. So that they get along with each other and people understand that they are also a family, and of course it is strange for the Imperial family to be close, but they are not fighting for power. The girl also asks Aiden if he came there to read books, to which the guy replies that yes. And the girl turns to Carlisle and asks why he came there, to which the guy answers, the same thing. Then the lady suggests that the three of them read books together. The prince hesitates a bit, but Aiden immediately agrees. After which the blonde guy also agrees, and most importantly, he thinks, that's great. After all, it's a plus for her that her relationship will be smooth in the future. The girl thinks that maybe this is why Juliana agreed to have these children nearby. At this time, Aiden is carrying a stack of books. And the main character understands that it is unknown when he will read it all. So where is he dragging so many? At this time, the prince also drags a lot of books and the girl understands that they are at it again. The prince at this time looks at the book in Aiden's hands and wonders if he is reading the Imperial Theory. The guy replies that there is no god who could cause harm for gaining knowledge. The prince wonders if this is really true. And the brunette claims that there is no reason why this is not knowledge. And this book is also in the library. Lily understands that this is not a misconception, but if she were Carlisle, she would immediately grab him by the throat. The lady understands that this is clearly a provocation, after which she tells Aiden that they need to get along, but the guy replies that they already get along. The girl understands that she only has to look at this guy because he is no better than Michael, and usually he behaves like Cedric, but people think why he behaves like this in front of Carlisle. The girl also says that if he continues to do this, she will read books alone with Carlisle. Aiden, at the same moment, states that from now on he will be silent, upset, turns back to the book. The main character realizes that she wants to tease him more, but she needs to calm him down. The lady whispers that when they return, she will play only with him and only the two of them. The guy smiles in response and agrees, and the main character realizes that she doesn't know what she did. Well, everyone likes her, and later, when he stops liking her, he will have to ask why he liked her, because now if she tries to ask, she will be very embarrassed. Lily understands that of course she will say nonsense, but what if they fall in love with her when she grows up? But when this happens, then she will think. A little while later, the protagonist realizes she didn't expect them to read the book's actions. Meanwhile, Aiden inquires about the lady being nearby. The girl replies that yes, and her sister is busy now, so she needs to wait for her arrival, and the guy asks if she will come with his uncle, to which she replies that she thinks so. And when the prince looks at her sadly, the lady thinks, does he really not like to hear this? But if you think about it, I wonder why Carlisle got the nickname Cold. She's curious, but if she asks, it will be impolite, and therefore it will be better not to pester him with questions until he himself wants to tell. At this time, Aiden turns to Lily and asks what happened, to which the lady replies that nothing. The guy tells her that if something is bothering her, then the lady should not be shy about telling him. Another guy suggests that he also be sure to tell her, and the main character claims that she will write to him often. But the guy tells her to come and play more often because he can't come to her. The main character, looking at him, realizes that it seems these guys know her passions better than she does, because they wouldn't look so sweet in her eyes. The prince says at this point that when the lady is nearby, he feels like he can finally breathe freely. The girl guards him so much when they first met. He was like a dangerously taut string, and for Carlisle's sake, she should come more often. In any case, she could go to the palace with Juliana. But then she notices that Aiden is smiling so scary that she can't immediately say that she understands, and even if the guy is pretending to be a friend, it's still not true. However, the lady thinks it's nice to sit and spend free time with the children on such a fine day. The lady is still very young, so she may feel free from everything, but when she enters the academy, she'll be exhausted after the exam. The girl also turns to Carlisle and asks whether he and the members of the direct line of the imperial family are receiving an education in the imperial palace and not in the academy. The blonde-haired boy replies no and can go to Delir if he wants. The girl wonders if he wants to go. The main character says she still has friends and thinks it would be a good idea if he went to the academy and befriended them, to which he agrees. The girl says that since that's how it's going to be, Aiden should serve too. At this time, the brunette asks what Lily is saying, but the girl notices her sister. She immediately runs up to her but then realizes that her little sister is in too much of a hurry. At this moment, the woman steps on her dress and begins to fall, but at that very moment, someone grabs her. It turns out to be Michael, and the guys at this time seem paralyzed as they watch them. The main character is shocked to realize that her sister will never be with this fox. She could have simply grabbed her arm, but he and I had to hug her around the waist where all the children could see. The girl understands that as a Confucian, she cannot tolerate this, and how can they make out in a public place? At this time, Juliana thanks Michael for catching her, and the main character thinks what a hypocritical scoundrel he is, and the opportunist, how dare he do that right in front of her? Michael, meanwhile, insists he told her not to run. The girl still looks angrily at her uncle, after which he turns his attention to her, and he claims that if she looks at him like that, she'll punch a hole in his face. Lily understands that even if he smiles like that, then she knows all his dark thoughts. The blonde man leans toward Lily at this point, and he claims that she really likes her older sister, but the girl just turns away and realizes that he already knew this. The guy at this time claims that he is not trying to take her little sister, so there is no need to hate him. The main character slowly offers him her hand and understands that if she ignores this, Juliana will be in a difficult situation, and therefore he should not think that he will get off the hook so easily. The girl understands that she will be keeping an eye on everything. Meanwhile, Aiden also visits his uncle, and the main character at this time turns her attention to Carlisle and realizes that he looks sad. So the guy must have wanted to be alone with her, but there were 3 of them all the time. The girl turns to her sister and asks if they are leaving, to which the woman replies that they are and asks if Lily is hungry, because if so, then they can go to dinner, to which the lady agrees. But he says that before that he will say goodbye to the second prince because it would be impolite to part like that. Juliana watches contentedly as her little sister goes to say goodbye, and the main character realizes that leaving the 3 of them like this makes her a little nervous. The girl also calls Aiden to her, and when the guy approaches, she whispers to him, "What if Uncle Michael and her little sister get married? Then they won't be able to get married." But the girl understands that this is just a lie, but the guy nods and the lady understands that he is serious. So, okay, nothing can be done. The girl approaches the prince, and he asks what happened. The main character strokes the boy's head, and she thanks him for coming today. The lady says that next time she'll come alone and he'll show her the palace. The main character understands that she does not know whether she has the time and opportunity, but she thought that Carlisle would be hurt if she did not say anything. The guy smiles at the same moment and tells Lily that he will wait, to which the lady replies that she will definitely come to press. The girl quickly removes her hand, realizing she shouldn't bring up a topic inappropriate for children. If it's a prince, then words like, "I like you" and "marry me" will definitely come out without a hitch. But at least now this definitely won't happen, and the guy is just saying goodbye to Lily. A few days later, Juliana said, "Isn't it sad to stay at home in good weather?" So they all went for a walk together. Cedric turns to the boys and tells them not to stray too far. The protagonist realizes that Luca is already quite skilled at magic, but she still can't, so she envies him. Meanwhile, Michael claims that Aiden has been acting strange lately. The protagonist understands. As for how he said it, she didn't notice anything strange, and her sister at this time was wondering if he was talking about Aiden. The guy replies that nothing has changed, but he looks strange for some reason. Alan, meanwhile, insists that children grow up quickly. Juliana asks if it is because they have been away from their parents for too long, and the guy's answer that he is sure that this is not the case because Aiden is not the one who would worry about something like that. The main character realizes this is definitely true, because the guy only has eyes for her, and what does it have to do with her parents? And besides, he looks like he's asking for praise. Well, the girl is thinking about what to praise him for, and at the same moment, someone asks the lady if something is really wrong. A little while later, they are already getting out of the boats, and Juliana asks if everyone had fun. Luca claims that he wanted to ride a little more, and the main character understands that Cedric also wants to be close to Juliana. But in moments like these, she always takes a step back and keeps an eye on them. So the main character turns to her older brother. She tells him not to do it from behind and suggests they hold hands. The girl understands that by doing this, he can also keep an eye on them. At this time, Luke says that he wants this too, and Joshua also takes his hand. Juliana turns around and smiles at this picture, and Alan and Michael do too. Well, the guy is surrounded by children. Alan says at this point that Luca is probably sick. But Cedric replies that he doesn't care at all, and he likes it that way. The main character wonders how anyone can be so kind. So she'll give him 1 point, "Hey girl, thinks, is it really sickening for Michael to be as kind as Cedric?" At this time, the guy turns to Lily and asks if she wants to go with him to the dessert shop, to which the lady agrees. But when she looks at how Alan shakes his head, she thinks, what's wrong? At the same moment, the other children say they want it too. The brunette hesitates a little, after which the main character thinks why he is looking at his uncle and, taking the guy by the hand, invites him to go together. The young man replies that it's okay, and the main character understands that this is the reason why Michael considered Aiden strange. The guy wanted to hear praise from her, and the girl wonders if he was still bothering Michael. The main character realizes that Aiden listens to her surprisingly well, and a little while later, Mikhail and the children insist they'll be back soon. Juliana tells him not to buy them too many sweets, to which he agrees. Then he turns to the children and winks at them. The main character thinks what a fool he is, and if he wants to signal, it must be secret. After all, Juliana is still looking, but for his efforts to look good in front of her, she gives 5 points. The girl wonders if she really should keep track of her scores, since Alan got 50 points for removing her cavity last time, and besides, he has been acting strangely calm lately. Perhaps Alan's character, as described in the original, was just a ploy so that he could separate Rowan from her older sister? At this time, the guy turns to his brother and tells him to make him suffer to the fullest, to which he agrees, and the girl understands that it doesn't matter because Alan Lowell remains himself. A little while later, the main character looks at the many desserts and realizes that this is a real paradise because all these delicious desserts look incredibly expensive. One of the workers at this time turns to Michael and asks if Aiden has come too. This woman is the Marquise Claudis, and the main character realizes that, as she thought, this store was opened by a noblewoman. Seeing her for the first time, she wants to say whether she can love her, and the girl immediately introduces herself, claiming that her name is Liliana Blanchette. The woman then remarks that the lady must be their regular secret client. The protagonist mentally replies that this is true, because she wants to visit her openly as long as Juliana allows it. Well, if she changes her mind, then in about 8 years, if this place doesn't disappear. The woman at this time says that this is good and asks whether it is necessary to praise their Michael a little, because for such a sweet niece, nothing is too much trouble. The woman turns to Lady Liliana and says that since she personally visited the store today, let her choose whatever she wants to eat, because it will be free. The main character, in shock, asks if this is true, and the woman replies that of course, and the lady asks if she can choose just one of each, but something replies that it's okay, even if she takes everything there. The main character immediately smiles and realizes that she will give an extra 30 points to Michael. A little while later, the lady notices that Aiden is following her around and tells the guy to choose what he likes, but the young man claims that he likes the same things as she does. Lily understands that this is not true, and the guy once again turns to the girl and claims that she told him something. That next time, he will play only with him, so he would like it to be now. At this time, the main character asks if everyone won't worry if they suddenly disappear, to which the young man replies that he understands, and the lady asks how they will do it then. After which, the guy turns to his uncle and smiles contentedly. The main character is shocked, wondering what kind of outrageous idea he's come up with. At this time, Michael turns to Lily and asks her if she has chosen everything, to which the girl nods. The main character also understands that Aiden hasn't said anything yet, but she doesn't understand why she's so nervous. And besides, Luca and Joshua are running around the store so excitedly, and the girl is wondering if she shouldn't calm them down first. The lady immediately screams at them not to run, because if they don't stop right now, then she won't share desserts even if they come to her house, after which the guys listen to her. And the woman with a smile on her face says that it is so sweet, after which the girl thinks that it is a masterpiece, madam, because they almost fell to the floor. The store owner says that the lady looks so much like her sister, and the main character wonders if she really knows her, to which the woman replies that of course, because when the lady studied at the academy, she often came there with Michael. She loved desserts, and the woman hadn't seen her plump face in a long time. Lily, shocked, wondered if her sister really liked desserts. But since she'd transferred to this body, she hadn't seen anyone eat many desserts. The girl also recalls Michael handing her sister a muffin, and she wonders if it was because of her that her little sister couldn't eat her favorite dessert. The girl immediately turns to Michael, and the blonde man leans towards her and asks, "What is it?" And did Lily really not choose everything? And the girl understands that everything is wrong because she chose her weekly limit at once? But she still wonders what dessert her older sister likes and also understands that she will keep what she chose because she wants to choose a dessert for her sister. Michael says that Lily really likes her older sister, and the main characters do not answer that this is so. The girl realizes she truly likes Juliana. She'd never loved anyone so much until she was transported to the novel. Meanwhile, Michael insists that the man will choose what his sister likes, and they wonder if that's okay. The main character wonders if he means she can keep everything she chooses. After which, the girl completely understands what a terrible guy he is because he found out what she was thinking about. At this time, Aiden turns to his uncle and asks if they can go to the flower shop before returning. After all, he would like to look at the flowers, and the blonde asks if he is talking about the flower shop. The guy claims that he saw wilted roses in the Blanchett mansion, and the main character understands that their gardener went home for a short time. So they withered. Meanwhile, the brunette says he's sure he'll make them happy if he gives them a new flower. Meanwhile, the main character wonders how the guy knows when the roses in her house have wilted, and when they bloom and smell if she doesn't know about it herself. The girl also thinks why he chose a flower shop, and shouldn't the guy have said something like that he won't bother his uncle anymore, so let him give them time to play together. A little while later, one of the guys asks where they're going, and the other replies, to the flower shop. Joshua asks why, and Luca replies that Lily's flowers have dried up at home. But then the guy asks why they are going to buy them themselves, to which Luca replies that he doesn't know but will buy them first. Joshua immediately claims that he will too, after which the two are going to run away. But at that very moment, someone grabs me and offers to hold hands for a moment. It turns out to be Michael. The main character looks at him in surprise. Aiden says that she is ready, after which the main character thinks, could this really be the very plan that had popped into his little head? The brunette turns to Lily at this point, and he suggests going flower watching together. A little while later, he points to one of the flowers and tells her to look at it because it's very beautiful. Lily replies that it's truly beautiful and looks at the boy, realizing he's like a flower among other flowers. She also asks what kind of red flower it is, and the boy replies that it's a begonia. The lady then points to another one, and the young man replies that it's a phlox. It's still early for blooming, but it looks like they were planted long ago. The young man also talks about other flowers, and when he points to one of them, he says, the girl says she knows, after all, that this flower is called eustoma. The lady realizes she's read about it online for a long time and that if she makes a bouquet out of it, it would be beautiful. At this time, Aiden claims that this is true, and the main character immediately imagines how the guy will open his own flower shop. The young man asks what she is thinking about, and the girl replies that she thought the role of a salesperson in a flower shop would suit him well. After which, the guy says that if it's with her, then it's good, and the main character understands that she almost got caught. It was like an indirect admission. Well, as she already said, she is but the older sister. And she also says that she thinks that Luca and Joshua will come every day to create problems for them. The girl also thinks that now she cannot give the answer that he wants to hear. Well, then the guy comes up with some idea, and he asks if Lily wants any flour. The girl asks if he will buy it for her, and the guy replies that if she asks her uncle, he will definitely buy it. The ladies reply that everything is fine, but just as she thought. At that moment, Joshua enters the room and addresses Lily. He hands a flower to the lady and claims it looks like her. The main character realizes he brought these flowers because they are the same color as her hair. And it's very sweet, after which the main character asks Aiden what kind of flowers they are. He replies that they're Hoyas. The lady then says that it is clear and thanks Joshua, to which the guy only nods. The main character, looking at his facial expression, understands that, as she thought, this guy likes her, but at that age, she will definitely like the person with whom she was closest. Lily also asks if he paid for them, to which the guy exclaims that of course he did. The main character immediately puts one of the flowers in his hair and claims that it makes him look cute. Until they are home, let the flower remain as is. Otherwise, she might cry because she will be upset. The lady also gives a flower to Aiden and says that he should wear it too, but not walk with it until it wilts. The girl understands that this is great and she wants to do the same with Michael and Luca. And also with Alan, Cedric, and Juliana, they will all be like a big family. The girl approaches the guys and suggests they have the same fun next year. The blonde guy asks if she's really not planning on playing anymore this year. At this time, the main character says that Joshua is such a fool. And Michael, together with Luca, leaves the flower shop. Michael asks Lily if she can follow him without holding his hand, to which the lady replies, yes. And then the guy suggests they hurry up, because Leah's probably been waiting for a long time. Meanwhile, the main character ponders what love is. If this feeling can make a person like this, in the novella, because of Michael's character, it was impossible to imagine such a smile. So it turns out that love means that he is ready to completely change himself. As Aiden said, Juliana really liked the flowers that Mikvel brought. Lily realizes she felt like she was drowning in a huge number of these flowers, because all the flowers Michael gave her were placed in her room. Juliana, of course, spends more time in her bedroom than in her own, but she still feels a little sorry for Michael. A little while later, Juliana asks the girl if she can't sleep. The main character understands that at 10 o'clock it is still too early for an adult to sleep, but now she is only 8. The woman says that if she goes to bed late, she will not grow up, and the girl replies that everything is fine. The woman then claims it's the lady's birthday soon and asks if she wants anything as a gift, to which the girl replies, nothing. Juliana asks if she doesn't even want something sweet. Then he even says that maybe she should have the cake for the girl's birthday, and the main character asks if that's true. The woman says that even if it doesn't taste good, she should eat it, to which the main character replies that she absolutely should. The girl realizes she has one important question for Juliana today, as the time for the midterm check-in has passed. She turns to her sister and asks if she still doesn't like anyone. The girl replies that she loves Lily more than anyone in the world, and the main character understands that it would be good if they lived like this for a very long time. But now Lily is wondering what her little sister thinks about her brothers, and Juliana is wondering if she really calls them all brothers now. The main character gets a little angry about this and understands that this is not important now. Juliana says that they are good friends, and she doesn't want to distance herself from them. After all, Lily doesn't want to lose such friends either. To which the protagonist nods and wonders if Juliana is simply suppressing her feelings. There's no chance that people who understand her feelings well won't be sensitive to this part. After which the main character asks, what if the inevitable moment comes? Juliana says that her Lily speaks like an adult, and the main character understands that she said too much. The woman claims that they aren't the only men in the world, so she wants to remain friends with everyone if possible. The main character realizes that she's shocked by the candidates for the leading male role. The woman claims that if, as Lily said, the inevitable moment comes, at this time the main character is from there in shock, thinking about who she will choose. But the woman says that if she is sure, she will definitely tell Lily. The main character is in shock and thinks about what to do if she interferes with the person her sister likes, and even if she doesn't smile so beautifully, she feels uneasy. The girl also understands that she is doing this because she wants the person Juliana likes to become closer, And if she really likes someone, then she should stop her actions. Lily also says that then she doesn't need her help, and the woman claims that her sister doesn't want to date anyone until she enters the academy. The main character understands that this is a lie, and if she had not driven away the Marquis of Cleone, she would have already suffered all sorts of things from him. The girl also understands that if she thinks about it, her sister has already avoided the worst end, and the girl claims that she does not need to worry about her. The woman says no way, and she intends to continue taking care of Lily and doesn't want to date someone she doesn't like. Lily asks if that's true, even if her sister likes him. Lily claims she doesn't want Lady to do this because of her because she wants her to be happy. The main character thinks she doesn't want to be a burden to her sister and doesn't want to interfere if she likes someone. The woman asks, what if she's already happy because she has Lily? She also asks the lady not to worry, because her sister will also be looking very closely when Lily sees her fiancé. The girl asks, what if she brings a bride? And the woman says she'll also take a closer look to see if she can make her Lily happy. The heroine realizes she was worried about whether she could simply accept this undeserved love. The girl also thinks that if she didn't know her sister, everything would be fine. She also asks if her sister likes her very much, and she replies that of course, because she loves Lily more than anyone in the world. That night, the girl had her first nightmare, and it was a terrible nightmare in which Juliana was. He abandons her with a look of complete horror. When the aristocrats' meeting resumed, the main character and Carlisle strolled through the imperial palace as he had promised. The main character starts thinking about something of her own, but at that very moment, the guy turns to Lily, and she claims she looks bad. The main characters claim she thinks it's because she couldn't sleep. The guy says that if she wants, he can send scented candles to their mansion to help her fall asleep. Lily knows it sounds tempting, but she gets desserts from the imperial pastry chef, so if she refuses more, Juliana might feel the burden too. The girl realizes that these conversations remind her of the nightmare last night, and she goes crazy, while the prince asks if the girl is okay. At the same moment, the main character strokes the guy on the head and asserts that everything is fine. Well, the young man, looking at her exhausted appearance, says that this is not true and asks if the lady really has a toothache, because she ate a lot of desserts, and the girl screams who told him that. The main character realizes that only the 3 kids and Alan knew about it. The boy then says that he only assumed it was true, but it turns out it was true. The main character thinks that this little guy is smart and sweet and also tells him not to stop sending desserts, to which the young man replies that he understands. Carlisle claims that he knows what Lily is worried about and that last time he just heard rumors. He also did not intentionally collect information about her, to which the lady replies that it is good and she will believe it, after which she thinks that the guy scared her because she thought that he would start talking to her about the nightmare again. The young man claims he's telling the truth and usually only gathers information on people who pose a threat to him. Lily wonders why he's telling her this, and the guy replies that it's because he trusts her. Lily wonders when such trust arose between them. As far as she remembers, they only played and ate together, but if she thinks back, everything was strange from the very first meeting, after which the girl completely thinks that it doesn't matter and turns to the prince, and he asks why he likes her. The young man wonders if she doesn't know, and the lady wonders how she could know. It wouldn't happen, but if she told anyone about Carlisle's words, his life would instantly be in danger. One of her nobles would claim they couldn't believe the prince was gathering information, and wouldn't it be jealousy of the throne he wouldn't get? The guy at this time claims that he is talking to her about such a free veto and does not think that she will tell anyone. He also claims that the lady isn't interested at all and that being lazy is even better. Lily realizes that, as she thought, he doesn't look like a child. At this time, the guy says that he is answering her question, but the main character immediately replies that if he doesn't answer, she thinks that she doesn't need to hear it. Lily thinks that she understands others no worse than him, but he will tell not only the reason, but also his plans for the future. And she does not want to be part of someone else's life plan at 8 years old, at least until her little sister shows interest in someone other than her. Otherwise, she'll faint. At this time, the prince claims that he is not going to propose to her, and the main character understands that she knows, but she needs to specifically say this. She also thinks that showing her displeasure with all her appearance and telling the truth would be too much. After which, she claims that she didn't say that she didn't like it, but this doesn't mean the opposite, because she's not ready for this yet, and more precisely, she doesn't want it. The guy claims he understands, so he won't do it, and he's already been rejected once. Lily wonders if she too unknowingly proposed, and the young man replies that no, these were just passing suggestions and he really doesn't want to burden her now. and later, when the lady becomes an adult, he will take a good position, and then he'll make a formal proposal. The main character, without hesitation, thinks it's clear, and also considers whether she should tell him to cheer up. The girl also thinks that if her loved one changes next year, and there are 9 years left before she grows up, she should be more careful with her words. The guy says that, one way or another, the reason he became interested in her was because he was struck by the magic he felt from her on the day of the banquet. The main character wonders if that was really the case when neither Alan nor her sister could sense it. The young man claims that he feels and understands the mafia of other people, although this requires physical contact. Usually, he hides it, and it would be bad if someone found out. But for certain reasons, sometimes he uses his power. He claims that at that moment he thought it was an assassin who had come for his life. And of course, if the lady were a real assassin, she would have fallen into a peppery sleep as soon as she noticed this. But then the young man tells Lily not to be afraid, to which the girl nods and understands that she is not very afraid, and she is also not the kind of person who should accept consolation. The guy at this time says that seeing her with magic that he had never encountered before, he thought that the lady was a fairy, so he wanted to see her again, and after they met again, he sincerely wanted to get closer, and she, having met him, is not afraid and does not avoid. The main character cannot believe that a child who is only 10 years old already thinks like that, and as a result, he was attracted by the fact that she is different from other people he had once met. You could end up being an icicle. The main character slaps the guy on the head and realizes she's actually glad for this reason, and also says that in the future, he'll have many more good friends besides her. But the young man says he likes her, and their protagonist replies that it's a sign for him to be quiet. Lily understands that even if he's not speaking mindlessly, wouldn't he fall into an eternal sleep from the awkwardness of seeing her years later? At this time, Carlisle tells Lily not to hurt his feelings, to which the girl replies that she does not hurt, but the guy says that she already did it. The girl says that this is why she does not like smart children. The prince says that in any case, he accidentally overheard the results of her magic test. The girl understands that he did it on purpose. Carlisle claims he thinks he can help her with this. The protagonist immediately asks how. And the guy claims that if you look at her condition now, the decoys might leave the body. It's as if it's blocked and ordinary people can naturally use mana by adapting to it. Magicians describe this as the path opening. The main character wonders if this means she has not yet opened the path. The guy says it's true, and the lady realizes that Liliana Blanchette was the one who couldn't open the way. Lily wonders if this happened because she possessed her body. She doesn't know whether it's the first or the second, but at that very moment, she remembers today's nightmare. After all, at that very moment, he shakes his head and asks what the guy meant. Speaking about the possibility of helping, the young man replies that it is a secret. Well, he can open the way if he gradually opens the big door, little by little. Lily asks if other people can't open the way, to which the guy replies that, as far as he knows, no. Lily understands that she thinks that this is true, because they would not have delayed her admission to the academy just because she is not good at magic. The girl thinks that this kid is amazing and he is not like Aiden, but he is also smart and has an excellent throwing ability, and he is also a prince. And if he takes the throne after defeating the first prince, he'll be the perfect protagonist of a fantasy novel. If he were Juliana's age, who would become number 1? The guy says that if the lady wants to enter Delir, she should tell him, because he will have to prepare a lot of things. Lily understands that if she were really 8 years old, she would have fallen for it, and she means that the guy told her that he would help her when he found a way to get to Delir. And even if Carlisle takes a different path, it will not affect her in any way. After which the children turn to the guy. The lady understands that in such moments, it is better to use a contract and also asks him to promise. That Carlisle Evans, with genuine kindness, helps Liliana Blanchette without receiving anything in return. The girl wonders how she can tell if he said 2 different words to the same person. Unfortunately, that's happened often in her life. The guy claims Lily doesn't trust him at all. But the lady insists that's not the issue. She doesn't understand that she simply doesn't believe in people themselves, and moreover, she doesn't believe in such a feeling as love. She's even more worried about the fact that Juliana could leave her at any moment, so how can she trust others? At this time, the guy claims that he understood that they should prepare a contract next time. The main character wonders if he really immediately understood what she was talking about. This means he already had such precedents, because if somehow it's a little sad and the girl says that he also shouldn't trust people, but the young man says that he believes her. The girl asks what if she betrays him, but the guy replies that nothing can be done, because he wants to trust her, and he wants to do this regardless of the contract. A little while later, the guy asks the lady to wait a little, as he will help her manifest. But the main character screams that if anyone passes by, the guy replies that everything is fine because there is no one there. And this really won't be long, after which the girl sees butterflies and becomes delighted. The guy claims that he did it with the help of her magic, and the main character wonders if this is really true. The girl claims that she has never seen anything like this before, but the prince claims that from now on she will see it more often. If she's near him, Lily realizes she'll pretend she didn't hear anything. A little while later, the girl's sister asks if she had a good time with the prince, to which Lily replies that, yes, Carlisle showed her something interesting. The woman asks what the lady is doing, and the lady replies that it is a secret, after which she looks at the guy. And she thinks that while Juliana is around, she doesn't want her to notice Carlisle's manipulation of her son with her magic. What will happen to him then? The guy turns to Lady Blanchette at this point, and he claims he has something to say about Liliana Blanchette. The woman immediately asks the prince to speak to her less politely. The young man claims he wanted to talk about Liliana's management of Mackay, but his circumstances make it difficult to speak cavalierly. The woman wonders if he's talking about Lily's magic. The protagonist realizes that her sister initially felt uncomfortable because Carlisle speaks politely. Well, as soon as the conversation turned to her, her sister immediately changed her attitude. This is probably because she always stands in first place, but she doesn't think about the main game, that she's not worth it, and if she can't come back, she decided to have fun. But the girl thinks how long this life will last without thinking. The girl understands she can't do this, but isn't she deceiving herself by saying so? The woman, meanwhile, claims that, as far as she knows, the test results are unknown. The young man claims he intentionally leaked the original information to me and that Liliana's test results are already known in Cantio. The woman says it's unpleasant to hear, and the young man says he simply warned them about it. He also doesn't think that this topic is suitable for conversation where they might meet the next time people arrive at the Imperial Palace, because he is sure that it will not harm Lily in any way. The woman replies that it is good, and next time she will visit him with Lily. Juliana also thanks the prince for always taking care of the summer and apologizes for not being able to help them more. The lady claims that she too is sorry that their side cannot repay the prince for the favor shown to her in full. She is a little ashamed that they may bother the prince in the future. The main character understands that, in short, her sister said that if the prince doesn't treat her like that, she won't be able to do what she wants. Carlisle had previously said that he was rejected after hinting that he wanted to marry her. The girl thought that she was only protecting her sister, but it turned out that they were doing it mutually. A little while later, the Good Games are not interested in whether there is a struggle for imperial power in their country. Luca, surprised, tugged the ball away and wondered why the lady was talking about it while they were playing ball. Lily insisted she was just curious, and that's when the idea came to her. At the same time, he wonders if this is because of the two princes, and the paid heroine thinks that he is not at all interested in what is happening in the world, but his wits work well. The girl immediately kicks the ball with all her might and then asks Joshua to go get it. The young man claims that the lady kicked him on purpose. The girl says that if he brings it in a minute, then she'll say what dessert it is today, and the guy will claim that he can finish it in 30 seconds. Luca tells the lady that he knows nothing about such a thing and suggests asking Aiden. The main character replies that it would be a little strange to ask him, since he also belongs to the imperial family, and the young man says that this is true. The girl, looking at the boy, realizes that sometimes capable people flaunt their ingenuity, and Luca is one of them. He's an outstanding individual, a friendless mage, and his abilities are those of a secondary character. The girl is still worried about what Carlisle said about the mercenary, and no matter how much the Emperor loved the prince, the 10-year-old child suffers from the threat of an assassin attack, and there is no one who would listen to him. Besides, Carlisle is unusually kind to her, and the girl sighs. Luca says if she's so interested in flying, she should resign herself to it and ask Aiden. The girl replies that it's impossible because Aiden really doesn't like Carlisle, and if she starts asking about something like that, he'll do it. But at that very moment, the young man steps out from behind the lady and asks what she wants to ask. Lily immediately says he scared her, and she didn't even hear him from his footsteps. The guy says he was lucky, and that means he repeated it correctly, as it was written in the book. The main character wonders what kind of book this is and whether it really is about how to become a capable assassin. The young man asks what she wanted to ask, but the main character turns away, as if saying she doesn't understand what he's talking about. The lady immediately cries out that since her birthday is coming soon, she is curious what everyone will give her, and Luca will give her a tiara. The young man immediately wants to ask when he spoke about such a thing, but when the main character turns to him, he immediately asserts that it will be made from candy. Aiden wonders if it's okay to say something about a birthday present, and the main characters don't answer that it's true. Then the young man claims that he will not tell her. The main character thinks that he will tell the green man something that he is plotting, after which she wonders what he's been up to. A little while later, Juliana turns to Lily and insists it's time to get up. She also asks the girl if she remembers what day it is, and she understands that today she woke up earlier than usual. Well, she doesn't want to get up at all, and the reason is that today is Liliana Blanchette's birthday. Juliana says that they haven't celebrated a birthday together for a long time. And will the lady really continue to lie in bed? Lily understands that other people's congratulations didn't matter to her, because their connection continued even when she occupied this body. But Juliana is a different matter. Liliana Blanchette's family is a whole other level of problem, and besides, she and her sister are celebrating their birthday 5 years later. Lily understands that in this way, she will plunge into an eternal sleep from remorse. The woman claims that Jane and Thomas prepared a delicious breakfast for Lily's birthday. Heinz prepared a dress as a gift, and it may be a bit small because it is the same size as the dress she wore to the banquet in honor of the second prince's birthday. The main character understands that she is showing such care and attention when her sister is gone. She has no choice but to get up. Besides the family, the mansion's servants, especially Heinz, had long worked for the Blanchett family and always watched Liliana grow up. If you were attached to something minor, they would never buy you a dress. That's why she was going to keep her distance and didn't pay attention to such details in the book. Especially how the main character naturally got along with everyone around them. Apparently, they were all mentally strong, and the girl realized that this was the beginning of Liliana's birthday celebration without Liliana herself, and everyone was happy except her. A little while later, Cedric congratulates Lily on her birthday. He claims that when he knitted, thinking of Lily, he wanted to do this and that. He ended up knitting a hat, a scarf, gloves, and a few other things. The main character wonders if he was knitting instead of working. Well, the guy claims he doesn't think the lady would wear knitwear, and he should have taken that into account. Lily realizes he's definitely a part of it, and when she opens the box, she notices something else, and the guy claims that he included a sword in the gift so that Lily would use it when she learns fencing, so that she wouldn't have to look for a suitable one. The main character understands that they are her feeling as if she received something probable, and the lady happily gives charity to Cedric. At that moment, Lady Cedric's sister appears beside them and apologizes to her, claiming that when he entered, he decided to congratulate the birthday girl first. The woman replies that there's no need to apologize, since Lily is the main character today. The girl also waves to Joshua, realizing he's next. The young man immediately congratulates Lily on her birthday. The main character thanks him, and then asks what he has in his hand. The guy claims that he will give her a gift last, and the girl asks why. The blonde replies that he doesn't know and will simply give it last. Cedric, however, says Joshua wants his gift to be the most memorable. The young man immediately cries out indignantly to his uncle, and the main character realizes that she enjoys this kind of teasing. She also thinks that the poor child didn't cry because she will take pity on him and be happy to shower him with warmth. The girl also says that she thinks the first gift given to her will be the most memorable. The lady also wonders if he is embarrassed about his gift, believing that everything is fine and that she will like whatever he gives her. The girl also thinks that her sister should watch, because the sociability that her sister was worried about has now crossed the stratosphere. The young man then hands over his gift and tells the lady to open it after he leaves. The heroine thinks that's fine, and she'll preserve this innocent moment to tease him when he grows up. At the same moment, someone else runs up to Lily and shouts congratulations. Michael hands the lady a box of goodies and claims that it is a gift from the Marquise of Clady. At this time, the young man with blue hair tells Lily that no matter how much he searched, he could not find a tiara made of candy, but anything else chosen in a hurry would be devoid of sincerity. So let her accept it as her gift. The girl then asks if she can return the gift. The young man from the Chinese gang also claims that he knew the lady would say that, so if she needs anything later, he will grant her 3 wishes. Lily wonders if she will be able to use them later. Then the girl realizes there are many witnesses and she won't forget. At this point, someone else addresses Lily. The main character realizes that it is Aiden, and the guy at that very moment hands her a box and also congratulates her on her birthday and claims that it is his gift. The girl sighs, because the box is small. She was nervous that he might give her something special. Lily thanks him and asks if she can open it now, to which he replies, "Here," and she can do that if she wants. The main character thinks that this is great and she will open the gift right now, well, when the girl does it there. Then she gets shocked, and the guy blushes a little and tells her not to worry because he bought it with his pocket money. The girl looks at this ring and wonders if it doesn't have a pink diamond. The lady also wonders how much pocket money he gets. The guy claims he chose a ring in a larger size and that when she gets older, it should fit, but if it's still too big, he'll just go down a size. Lily says that's not what she meant. And the guy claims that he knows that she prefers desserts, but he wanted to give her a meaningful gift. And the main character wonders if he's talking about something meaningful since it's almost a proposal. At this time, the young man apologizes for not being able to give something better, and the main character wonders if pink diamonds are common in this world and if they don't crumble like crumbs when you break a boulder in a mountain. At this time, Alan claims that the guy talks about the ring as if he bought a dessert, and the main character understands that, as she thought, this is a very expensive gift. After which the lady thanks the new guy. She claims she can't accept something so expensive. Lily also wonders if this is just an excuse to get something out of her life. And if the guy says that by accepting the gift, she didn't agree to his proposal, that will be difficult. She's been keeping an eye on the Evans family, including Aiden, for several months. And although they are different families, but relatives, the guys claim that this is his first gift for her birthday and wonder if the lady can't accept it. The main character understands that she should think positively, and the gift doesn't look as expensive as it seems. If not, then maybe he just wanted to give her a ring and a pendant without any meaning. After which the girl thinks it's good and thanks Aiden. Well, then the lady thinks she's somehow uneasy. Therefore, you will need to keep the gift, and if the guy asks for something, she will immediately return it. At this point, Juliana invites everyone to the table and offers cake. The main character realizes it's her older sister's cake. And she also thinks that she really likes it and she is happy, but still something is wrong. At this time, the woman turns to Lily and asks what is wrong, to which the girl replies that nothing is wrong. The lady also wonders if it is because her parents are not there, but they said that they would come as soon as possible to celebrate her birthday, so they will be there soon. Lily realizes they thought she'd fallen into eternal sleep, which is why they didn't congratulate her. She also wonders if she's happy. Then she realizes there will soon be more people there, and she'll feel guilty about it again. The lady also asks when they will arrive, and the woman replies that they should be there tomorrow. Michael says that if the lady wants, they can make the birthday celebration last all week. Alan claims that if Michael's money isn't enough, he'll perform some interesting magic, and Cedric says he'll help Lily do whatever she wants. The girl wonders if they are trying to look good in front of Juliana, and that is why they are so sincere, as if they have become attached to her over time. Well, the girl understands that now it is worth forgetting about this, as well as about anxiety and feelings of guilt about the future, because she wants to at least spend today happily like Liliana Blanchette. The girl also understands that this is true, and everyone has gathered there to celebrate her birthday, so she will show her happy side. At this time, Michael says that they should first find a banquet hall, and the girl thinks that it is not necessary, after which she states that she does not like it. Then, Alan says that he will show magic, and the lady says that she likes it, after which she even claims that she wants to go play, and the woman asks where. The girl replies that where there is clean water and fresh air and where there are no people. But at that very moment, everyone falls silent, and the main character thinks, why is everything like this? Because the water in the air there is better than in Korea. At least there's no fine dust there. Cedric asks if they need to find a place where there aren't any people, and it's not near the capital. Michael asks how many people Julian can teleport at once, since he has only teleported alone before and has no experience moving people. The woman replies that she hasn't transported more than 2 people, including herself. But if you calculate the mana consumption per person, taking into account that they will be leaving the capital's territory, the main character immediately stops her sister and says that it's so difficult, so it's not necessary. The girl also wonders if teleportation is really such a complex magic, and even in the novel, reality is reality. But the girl also sees the solemn expression on her sister's face and thinks what to do, because she is determined to take her to play. The woman at this time says that she thinks it will be difficult to use magic twice a day, so they will need to stay there for the day. Alan at this time claims that they have 3 magicians who can use teleportation, but Evans is an exception because he can only move alone. Michael asks the guy not to say useless things, and Alan claims that it turns out that he and Leah should split the 5 between the 2 of them. The woman claims that she can handle 4 of them, including her, and then the guy claims that he'll take care of Luca and Cedric, and she'll take care of the rest of the children. The main character understands that even in this situation, he prevents any contact between Juliana and Cedric. Meanwhile, The blonde insists he thinks they can stay at his villa. After all, he will say that they should not let anyone in, and the main character understands that they have thoroughly prepared. The girl understands that she expressed herself incorrectly, because she should have said something about delicious food, a game of hide and seek, or something similar. Of course it would be good if they went to a new place, but this situation puts pressure on her, and besides, this is one night outside the Blanchett estate. At this time, the woman says that the lady should then be ready to go out, and the main character thinks why she should do this together with men who have black souls. Well, then, the lady thinks that okay, and if her sister likes it, then she likes it too. But she still has to be on her guard. A little while later, Alan says that if everyone is ready, they can go, to which the girl nods. After which, he invites Lily to go have a good time, and when they return, her parents will probably already be there. The protagonist nods but realizes she's still worried about her parents. The lady also addresses Joshua and Aiden, asking them to hurry because they need to hold hands. When two guys look at the main character's free hand, they immediately run toward it, and the girl realizes it's a summer competition. Joshua grabs the girl's hand first, and the main character realizes it's not surprising. The guy has been training physically since childhood. Juliana smiles at this point, and the main character thinks how sweet her little sister is. Then the woman lowers her sister's hand and suggests doing it differently. Juliana positions herself so that the two boys can take the main character's hands, and the girl realizes that placing them on either side was ultimately a good decision. Joshua is a little unhappy, but this is the best way out of the situation. But then the main character looks at Aiden's face, and she realizes that his smile is absolutely not a good sign. Meanwhile, the lady's sister begins using magic. The main character realizes that, although this is the first time, everything matches the novella. Michael can only teleport alone, and Alan, who was a good magician, can teleport up to 3 people. The main character understands that her little sister is truly talented. She is not the one who would be held back by Rowan, and besides, no matter what happens, she will not give her little sister to someone who will lock her in the estate and will not allow her to go anywhere. Juliana is a person who likes to do everything herself, and at that very moment, they find themselves near Michael's villa. The main character, looking at the scenery, says it's so beautiful. After which, she suggests going to the lake, but at that very moment, Alan teleports there along with Luca and Cedric. The blue-haired boy cries out that he'll go too. After which, Cedric says it's dangerous, so he suggests they go together, and Alan realizes he's been abandoned. A little while later, the girl is sitting and wetting her feet in the lake. Luca approaches her and asks if she's cold, to which she replies that no, and that it's nice to sit like this. Luca says he doesn't think so, and Aiden turns to Lily, and he wonders what she really wanted to ask last time. After all, she said she couldn't ask him about it. The main character wonders if he still remembers this, and the young man becomes interested. Won't she really tell him? The girl thinks she can pretend she doesn't remember anymore. Then, she hands the strawberry to the boy and offers him to eat it, but the boy says no, and she can have it. Lily claims that she feeds him and doesn't care whether the guy doesn't want to eat his own hands. Aiden then eats strawberries, but claims that Lily knows that he is always happy to help her with anything, and if he can help with something, then let the lady tell him. But at that very moment, someone makes a sound of disgust, and the main character realizes that it is Luca. At this time, the brunette wonders if she really thinks that he doesn't know and doesn't ask, to which the lady replies that this is not so. The girl also thinks that since he's so curious, she'll tell him. The lady insists the question was about Carlisle, and the guy immediately replies that he doesn't want to hear it. The main character wonders if this little guy has really lost his mind. Aiden doesn't like Carlisle, and right now it would be more correct to say it's not love. That same evening, Juliana turns to Lily and asks her what she's thinking. At the same moment, Lily turns to her little sister, and the woman asks if she had fun today, to which the girl replies that yes, and the lady suggests that next time we relax together, just the 2 of us. Lily asks if they have a villa too, and the woman replies that of course, and she's not that big. Then the woman suddenly turns to Lily, and he wonders if memories of her mom and dad have returned. Lily wonders why she suddenly started talking about her parents, and the woman says, well, it doesn't matter. The main character realizes that last time the letter was also from the Blanchetts, and perhaps the couple. He was completely indifferent to his second daughter. Therefore, Juliana and the mansion's servants treated her with even greater warmth. The girl understands that she feels a little uncomfortable and thinks about what kind of life Liliana lived before she took over her body. The woman says that when the drivers return, they'll go for a walk. Lily realizes there's no point in trying so hard. She only needs her sister, and she's the only one she's afraid of. Meanwhile, the woman hugs the girl and invites her to sleep. The main character realizes that when she really likes someone, she becomes afraid. After all, she's afraid that this man will abandon her or hate her. At this point, Juliana says to Lily, what the sister wants is for the girl to always be happy and for sad or bad things to never happen. Lily realizes that it might be because of her rationalization, but it's definitely because of her. If her sister wants this, she'll do it until she leaves her, which makes her even more sorry. Later, the main character wakes up and turns to her sister, but does not see her and wonders if she really went to drink water and whether it is worth looking for her. The girl realized there was no lamp and that if she and her sister missed each other, it would be a problem, so she'd wait for now. That's what she thought, but 30 minutes later, her sister hadn't returned, and the lady wondered if she should really go looking. Because all three main characters are there, the girl jumps out of bed, puts on her shoes, and heads into the hallway. The main character, looking at the impenetrable darkness, realizes she can't live without a lamp, but at that very moment, someone else speaks to Lily. The girl immediately almost curses and says the guy really scared her. The main character realizes he really does walk silently, so she'll burn the book that teaches such techniques. The young man apologizes and asks if the girl is okay. The little girl replies yes, but wonders why he's there. The boy replies that his uncle disappeared, and the girl asks if he too was asleep. The boy replies, no, and they read books together in the library. Lily now wonders if they were doing it at that time and realizes that if she thinks about it, Michael and Juliana disappeared at the same time that night. Lady also suggests they search together, and the boy agrees. As they continue on, the main character claims she was about to head back and that it was a good thing she met him. The guy nods and then suggests holding hands to avoid getting lost. The protagonist asks if he knows everything there well, and he replies that he's roughly memorized everything and where he's been. The protagonist realizes that Michael's villa was different from what she imagined because it was quite large and spacious, almost like their mansion. But if the villa is that big, the girl is already afraid to imagine the size of his mansion. Aiden, meanwhile, turns to Lily and claims he was worried about persistently pressuring her to answer questions. And I thought that it would be good if there were no secrets between them, but meanwhile he didn't. So in response, after which the guy apologizes, the main character answers that everything is fine and understands that there is no need to try so hard, because even if he insists, this does not mean that she will immediately tell everything. The young man claims he wants to tell her something, but at that moment, the main character notices someone and drags the man around the corner. The young man asks what happened, and the main character notices her sister with Michael. The main character tells the boy to be quiet and understands that it is difficult to hear these two, and also tells the young man to do the same as me, because she is continuing the mission of the secret group. At this time, Juliana turns to Michael, and the guy replies that he is not trying to put pressure on her, and the main character thinks what kind of situation this is if Juliana feels a burden, and Michael makes excuses. The main character thinks what kind of feeling of déjà vu this is, and her sister at this time claims that it is as she said. For now, she wants to devote her attention and energy to her sister, so whether it's marriage or a marriage in Canada, she's considering it now. The main character realizes that everything is as she thought, and that the marriage proposal is simply ingrained in this family's DNA. Without asking or demanding a clear answer, Michael asserts that he's not asking the lady to answer him right now because she knows who he is. She'll wait as long as it takes. Meanwhile, the main character considers whether she should look into it, after which she turns to the boy next to her and realizes that he is not at all interested in what the conversation is about. At this point, Juliana turns to Michael and hesitates a little, about to say something. But at that very moment, someone turns to Lily, and he asks why he's there, and the main character realizes it's Alan. The lady's sister also turns around and asks if that's Lily and Aiden. The girl understands that since she's been caught, she'll act confidently. The lady immediately greets her sister, but the woman asks why she's there. The girl understands that her sister is angry and a little scared, so she needs to quickly explain herself. The lady immediately claims she woke up and her sister wasn't there, but the black-haired boy insists he brought her, and it wasn't Lily's fault. The protagonist realizes she didn't think the boy would do that. At this time, Juliana asks what if they had missed each other, and besides, there are a lot of mountain animals there. After which the guy apologizes, and the main character understands that if this happens next time, she will go out secretly, but now it is time to repent. Alan also wonders why they are there, because there are so many mountain animals there. The young man exchanges glances with the two, and the main character realizes this is the scene she saw in the novel. Juliana says they had a lot to talk about, then asks why he went out, to which the young man replies he couldn't sleep, so he decided to take a walk. And he thinks it's good that Michael left, and the main character notices the guy looking at her and wonders why the blonde guy only looks at her, and does he really think she's an obstacle to his love? So the guy's right. But the main character immediately turns to her sister, as if to say that her potential suitor is staring at her. The woman then suggests they go inside, and the girl realizes that when they return to the room, she'll be in for a lecture. But if it weren't for Alan, she would have quietly overheard everything and returned to the room, pretending to be asleep. The main character also looks at Aiden, then waves to him, silently thanking him for covering for her. If he gets scolded too, she'll definitely help him. But perhaps this won't happen, and the girl realizes that Liliana's noisy and unexpected birthday party is over. The next day, she would return to the estate, and the butler would ask if they had a good time. The main character replies that they had, and thanks him for the dress. The man smiles and says he's glad the lady liked it. The girl realizes that until now, she hadn't spoken much to the butler of their mansion, and had even tried to avoid him, but perhaps it would be better to live in harmony with him. Juliana says that first they need to go and wash up, and the butler claims that then he will prepare everything right away. The man also says that the gifts that Lady Liliana received are on the table in the bedroom, and there are also new gifts that were sent while she was absent, to which the main character agrees. Juliana thanks the butler, and the main character understands that this smile is automatic. And did she really dislike it so much that she went out at night? But in the morning, her sister was kind. Before she arrived at the mansion, the girl addressed the butler, who insisted he was listening. The woman, a little nervous, looked at her sister. After which, the main character insists that she'll go first and look at the gifts in the room, realizing it would be right for her to leave now. The woman replies that's fine, and suggests the girl go first. The main character realizes that if this is something she shouldn't hear, it's one of two things. Either it's a marriage proposal from Michael, or something related to Blanche's Chiquetta, and the girl understands that her intuition tells her that there are two. Therefore, after their arrival at the mansion, the butler was in no hurry to leave, and the girl thinks how many times during the exchange of letters there was something wrong and she was not told about it, but even if she knew it, she couldn't have done anything anyway, and the girl realizes she'll just go and check her gifts. But as soon as the lady enters the room, she's shocked. She thinks that since Liliana doesn't have many friends, Carlisle sent most of the gifts. She decides to start with Joshua's gift and opens it. Then he sees the gift itself and the letter underneath. The guy wrote that his mom helped him with the gift, but it looks like her. Lily realizes that there is not a single word of congratulation in the congratulatory letter. But still, the guy is a cutie, and looking at this she feels like an aunt. Then the next time they meet, she will wear this jewelry. The girl also decides to check Carlisle's gifts, but at that very moment, the butler approaches the lady and claims that Count and Countess Blanchette have arrived at the mansion. The protagonist realizes she needs to think about how to act when she meets them. Her parents already know about her memory loss, but Juliana thinks her upset appearance yesterday was due to her parents not being around. She's also considering whether she should pretend to be happy. Meanwhile, the maid turns to the lady and claims she hasn't helped her with her hair or clothes in a long time. Since Lady Juliana's return, she's been doing everything herself, after which she also asks if the lady remembers. The main character nods at this point and understands that it's not that she doesn't remember, but that she can't remember it, and she wonders if that's why she didn't talk to her. The maid claims the lady must have felt awkward, and even now she's worried because she might still be uncomfortable. Then the protagonist wonders if everyone in the mansion, including Hines, was expressing their concern for her in this way. The woman also says that it would be good if the lady remembered everything. Even if she doesn't remember, it's okay. After all, they remember everything, and the main character understands that they suddenly wanted to run away from everyone who used to know Liliana. The girl understands that before she took possession of this body, Liliana Blanchette was a child surrounded by love. Although her older sister was far away, she treasured her little sister very much, and even so, there was almost no mention of Liliana in the novel, and there is only a small moment. The main character thinks that if you think about it, it's illogical, because despite the fact that Juliana values her little sister so much, she has never come to see her.